evening and welcome to Fox.
Are you a millionaire?
Well, that depends.
On?
That depends if you got enough $1,000 and you want to call yourself a millionaire. I don't like to talk about money.
Did you receive... Let me ask you this, Stan.
Yeah.
Did you receive money for the Spider-Man movie? Do you have points?
No, well, look, I get a good salary, and everybody treats me nicely, and I get to talk to Howard Stern.
No, Stan, wait a second.
My father used to host the Jerry Lewis Telethon, and he was the New York host for it. And so you go, oh, you got to be some kind of a has-been to be hosting a telethon, and Fitzsimmons is washed up. And so he said all this horrible shit about my dad, and my mom hated him.
Of course.
Independence Day?
What do? You go out and give turkeys to black people on Thanksgiving?
No, I don't kill animals.
I'm going to have you know something. I have 3 black families living on my property right now.
Yeah, what, in the slave quarters?
Yeah, that's right. I believe in everybody.
It's Robin's job on the weekends?
Oh,
Absolutely.
boy, that was cute.
That's nice,
Interesting.
Meg. Nice. Oh,
right.
You get the black
Good one, Meg.
Doesn't act black is what.
Oh, and you do act black.
There's a certain way I should act, Meg.
Don't you love white people who tell you how black people should act?
How black people act?
No, you should act like Public Enemy.
Maybe I should talk like this.
Yeah, and you should talk like...
I could sit here and read live commercials and just make tons of money for the company. I could tell you the same thing over and over again.
I can't be tagged as the guy who's a dick.
They must be so jealous of me. I'm so successful, and they're just kind of not. You know what I mean? I feel the jealousy. That's why I don't leave my house. Don't you also sort of harbor some resentment, even though it's not logical, but you resent your baby for being in the way of your career?
Because we don't want the Japs anymore.
Because I want respect.
Some people say our show was the first reality show. I don't think there's one thing I've ever said on the radio that would have been found indecent or obscene. The secret to my show is honesty, reality, that I will say the truth.
Davyd.
Tell me this again. You got a cop asked you for a description. You basically going to be a witness to an accident with 2 cars, right. And you're going through the description, and the cars were, as it turns out, emerald green and yellow, and you told the cop black and white as the colors, and I'm going, not black and white as in you're this guy who is unbendable and flexible. You're in fact a very deep guy, one of the deepest guys I ever met, no pun intended. But you only see colors, in black and white. And the cop's like, sir, I don't. We've got 5 more descriptions, and each one of them said emerald green and yellow. And where do you get black and white from?
Meanwhile, this cop looks like Charlie Chaplin to me. You know, he probably in real life looks like
West Hollywood, right?
Right, exactly.
You're getting a lot of compliments on your movie choices, which is so crazy because like half of them are 10 years before your parents were born.
I'm getting compliments from the people my parents' age on my movie choices, I'm sure.
Oh God. So yeah, we did a top 10 movies on Patreon, Patreon, and Davyd's are, I think the youngest movie you have is 1992, Is that the closest to modern day?
Drop Dead Gorgeous is 99. I think that I don't know if I put any movies from the 21st century in my list as I think about it now.
And Sarah is like all 80s, all like mid to late 80s high school movies.
Or childhood, right.
Tendrils goes Davyd equals millennial, parents equal Gen X, grandparents equals boomers. And you would have it reverse if you had your way.
Well, yeah, my parents are actually young boomers. They were born in 61 and 63. So I never really had sort of a link to anyone from Gen X for a long time, just in terms of, evaluating their proclivities as a generation.
Speaking of, well, before I get to that, I want to thank Fred Durp for his benevolence, his silent assassin benevolence behind the scenes. Thank you, Fred Durp. And for you, sir, you get
guess who? Talking to me? Wow. He ain't talking to me anymore. Now he's holding his lip.
You are the dream I never knew I had.
Is that all you Italians know how to do? Scream and hit?
You
got slapped the yarmulke.
I did.
I'm going to have to get Fred Durp like his own Baltimore drop.
Yeah.
His area. Something from like maybe the Orioles or the Ravens or just Baltimore in general. So that should be thank you, Fred Durp.
Some John Waters related all his movies take place there.
It's amazing how you people, the default is always going to John Waters when Baltimore comes up.
Yes,
right?
So that's the first thing I think of after
I don't want your kind of woman, Amber. Holden, thank you, sir. Thank you for all your contributions on the members only show. Have I got a member only for you, Davyd? Welcome, Ed Rush. Casey Derula, welcome. Casey, you're more than welcome to sit in on the next show next week. I've been meaning to get you on here. Tendrils, LOTUS-CON, good to see you, Tendrils. Where are the white women at? Who does that clip? Remember Fred played that clip all the time? What is that from?
Blazing Saddles.
Is it?
I think so. Yeah.
How did Blazing Saddles not make your top 10?
I'm not this is going to sound sacrilegious. I'm not the biggest, like I'd prefer a Abrams Zucker joint.
You don't like the blatant comedies. You don't like the slapstick.
No. It's more that like I like Airplane and Police Squad better than I like Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles. I don't know.
It makes sense. I get that style. I get it.
I think it's also that like every Mel Brooks joke in any of his movies or any of his, stuff that he did with Carl Reiner or anything is so repeated so often in the culture. It's just like, it doesn't really have an effect on me. It's at some point,
I get it. Well, let's say hi to Crazy Robin. Welcome, Crazy Robin. Good to see you in there. For Christ's sake.
You
Hey, John and Sarah, it's Holly Robinson Pete. How you doing?
Falcon, the winged black superhero.
Crazy Robin is a black superhero in Northern California. Yes. That's how we all feel.
Mental health superhero.
Same arm time, Casey. Probably like 3:30 your time, 3:30 Staten Island time. Staten Island is so different in the 5 boroughs that it has its own time zone. So if it's 3:35 Eastern time, Staten Island's is 3:40. They go 5 minutes later. A. Smith, good to see you in there, sir, and all your sweet because A. Smith's such a mensch, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Thank you, Crazy Robin. Tam Fran. Yeah. So speaking of which, And speaking of Boomer, and speaking of, how was that powwow?
I was going to say
Tendrils and Tamara Francois. Now my moles were there, and I heard that Tamara, in keeping in character, got there last.
Yeah.
And you and Tendrils tied getting there in a walking fast contest down the sidewalk.
I was late actually to the, I was like 10 minutes late because I think I traveled the furthest, which is not, it's not a competition who traveled the furthest.
It is. It is.
No, it was great. I'm shocked. That was a month ago, and I'm shocked we haven't talked about it yet.
I know, somehow I don't know what happened. I think you weren't on one. I
wasn't in town, and
something else happened. There might have been two of them you weren't on, and then I was waiting for you to be here. So welcome, Anthony. So I want your recap. What'd you broads talk about?
We talked about. Oh, you want this story? We talked about you and how much we fucking love you. And,
oh wow!
And how very protective we are of you.
That makes four of us.
Yeah. Just kind of how we discovered the podcast. How because I think all of us discovered Gunk first.
Right.
And then when that all blew up, just sort of deciding who's going to get who in the divorce and everything. So and then once we sort of I still think it was super bizarre to it's such a 21st century phenomenon where it's like I feel like I know you so well, but I've also never met you in person, and just the bizarre parasocial phenomenon of having a community within like a podcast show where you just know people by their messages. You don't even, no one here really knows what we look like either, which is bizarre.
It's like the Stern Show having a wrap-up show and Howard's not on it. It's like everybody's on it. Yeah,
exactly.
The ones really. You ever see the ones where Artie, Robin, Fred were all on it? There's one with and Gary. Pat Cooper invades the wrap-up show. He's walking through I think he's coming back from Opie and Anthony, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
And he just runs into the studio and starts screaming at them. Everyone was there except Howard.
And that's when I mean I would never describe you as a Howard, by the way, because
I know I'm just trying to think of the comparison and the language we speak.
Because with that wrap-up show, they could actually have fun, while the mice can play while the cat's away. But here
I give myself as more of a Tom Gismondo,
right? With the bald guy with the ponytail, yeah, right. We and then we got off the topic of the show and we just kind of compared. We did some general getting to know you stuff, talking about different life stories, and Tamara is how it is pronounced, by the way. No, it's Tamara. It's she pronounces it Tamara, I believe.
So like tomorrow, but you just have an A at the end of it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Or is it wait, Tamara. It's either Tamara or whatever way we're pronouncing it is incorrect.
Is incorrect, and she does. She's too Canadian to tell us to pronounce it differently. Okay.
If she's in the chat and can spell it phonetically, that would be very helpful. But
Tatatoothy is what you call it, Lotus stock, or like Lotus, LOTUS-CON or something like that.
Yeah. But it was fantastic. Yeah, it was.
How's the alcohol consumption? What's going on booze wise?
I got a Bloody Mary.
All right, you people like Bloody Marys. I know that, especially you people like brunches. So
of course,
sometimes that goes with it.
Yeah, it was delightful. We went to a very. We were in the heart of Gayville in West Hollywood for this brunch, and I got French toast, and I think we all got...
What a combo! French toast and Bloody Mary at the same time. Holy shit. Remember that French toast conversation we had on the... was it the movie show?
The movie show, because we were... I forget why we had it, but...
We talked about the markup, at like how much like of a profit a loaf of bread...
Oh, at Sir, right.
Is $1.99 or something on a good day. Yeah. And your French toast is $25.
Exactly. Yeah, because we were talking about Sir,
right,
and all that. Yeah, I have I don't know. Going on assignment for the deepening to brunch always puts me in a French toast mood. I don't know why, but
and then I was doing my normal chicken nuggets,
right?
Man-child eating habits where I was talking about French toast sticks. Yes. How that was like one of the first when my family as a teen first got the Costco membership. That was like the staple thing we got all the time. And it's a way your mother doesn't have to make breakfast.
Yeah.
The frozen French toast sticks.
My elementary school had it was called Market Day, and it was sort of like you pre-ordered. It was almost like a mail order Costco in a weird way, where it's like you would pre-order all this kind of pantry and refrigerator food in bulk.
Yeah,
and I remember French toast sticks was one of the things that I don't know what the purpose of the program was, but anyway, yes, I definitely ate those French toast sticks as a kid. If I didn't go to
you, Tendrils, and Tamara.
Yeah, for now.
Tamara. Tamara sounds more like a superhero name. It is a lot of Southern California history and representation of the places you know and have been. That is a lot.
It's a lot of SoCal, yeah.
Yep.
And they've both were living in California at earlier times.
When you left, you left. No, you got congratulations, because now half your life is in California.
Yes, we're basically at that point now. If I haven't already passed it, which is crazy.
It is crazy.
I've been here longer.
I think my cousin is somewhat approaching that too. He moved to LA in 2002.
How old was he at the time?
He was 20. Shit, 28.
Okay, yeah. No, he's
so he's almost there. He's almost half his life in LA. It's crazy to think of.
It is.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Casey. The Cal Ripken Jr. drop is an excellent idea, where he breaks the Iron Man record. That is a great idea. I'm a huge Mel Brooks fan, says Tata-Tuthi. I mean, he co-created Get Smart, for Christ's sake, and just turned 100 years old.
Is working on Spaceballs too, in some capacity. So
James L. Brooks is no relation to him.
No, just too.
He has quite a. That guy has some career.
He does, yeah.
He's your second favorite James Brooks after the Bengals running back, right?
Yes, 21. Totally aware of. Yes, exactly.
Blazing Saddles, Crazy Robin, CP time. Tata-Tuthi, there's Tamfran. There she is. We're having Armacon. I'm down. Oh, that's a great idea, Casey Derula. I'll get together. It's awesome. So Tendril says our get together was awesome at La Boheme in WeHo. Of course you went to West Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you say it?
La Boheme.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the like you saying. What's the Gucky? A Gucky purse?
Yeah, Gucky. Gookie. Gucci. Gucky. Yeah, Gucky. Gucci. Gucky.
Yeah.
Davyd and Tamfran creme brulee waffles, and I had the Loco Moco. That's the fucking Bloody Mary is one of the great things you can drink in long form, because you're getting it's almost like having a Pedialyte, because it's chock full of vitamins.
No, it's
canceling out the vodka.
It's got the fake health benefits of V8 in the 90s,
It is. I mean, you are getting the vitamins. Just because there's alcohol in it doesn't mean you're not getting the vitamins.
Getting the veggies of an olive or two,
That's the old ab fab party girl drinking joke. Is I get my vegetables from the olive and the martini.
Absolutely.
Howard is in the bathroom getting a quickie from Ralphie Cakes while you were there. And A. Smith is jealous. Davyd, you just pronounced it correctly, says Tendrils.
Tamra.
It isn't like tomorrow. It's Tamra.
Yeah.
Tamra. I got to really, really work on that. Thank you, Lynette, for the $50 cash out.
Very
Lordy,
nice.
Lordy. I think for Lynette, we're going to give her this.
We're shock jocks. You use the N-word a lot.
Did you get this job with a speech impediment? That's what the. 'Cause. 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 ' See, they're McDonald's. I'm McDowell's.
Full disclosure, that Coming to America might make my cut list. You know, like the 11 through 20.
Totally, yeah.
It's such a good movie. And
We
this
should,
is
go. On the part 2 of the movie show, we should just name, like, if we had an 11 through 20, just name the title.
We decided, Sarah and I, we're gonna do a show with that.
Oh, okay. Like with a sort of expansion of the list of movies.
I'm trying to remember why I said I said that on the members only show.
Oh, okay.
That we were gonna do like a runner-up list, because like a quicker one, because it's like you just keep going back and you're like, oh,
There's
shit,
just so many movies. I know, there's so many good ones, you know.
I felt guilty, like I didn't have Superman 2 in my top 10. And a bunch of stuff. I deliberately left out things that Sarah chose that we had a similar list, because I didn't want to be redundant. And kind of the basic bitch choices. Not that this isn't a brilliant movie, but everybody has Shawshank Redemption in their top 10. So I just avoided it, because Andy Dufresne. What about Andy Dufresne? So I just Icky Woods is a good Icky Woods. Remember Icky Woods, Davyd? The Icky Shuffle?
I don't remember that.
Crazy Robin. How great is Crazy Robin? Or V8, right, Tendrils. Red Auerbach's daughter worked for Mel Brooks. I didn't know that, Tata Toothy. You know who Red Auerbach is, Davyd? He's the coach of the mighty Celtics and GM. He's basically Mr. Celtic. He's like a lot of people think that he was a co-GM with David Stern in the 80s.
Okay.
They were giving the Celtics many advantages. He's some cigar smoking kind of legend, legendary
character.
Celtics.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he's got a little cartoon. Very briefly, he was an analyst on the early days of TBS's NBA coverage too, in the mid to late, not really late 80s, but sort of like somewhere between like 84 to 86 or something like that. And then he took off. The Icky Shuffle is about the same age as Davyd. Yeah. That's true, Housey.
Oh, that's why I don't know it. It's too recent, you know.
Yeah, it is way too recent. Tendril says that place is awesome. After COVID hell, they turned the parking lot into an outdoor dining room.
Yeah.
They kept it that way. God, you and Tendrils have the same baseline for that area. It's crazy. You really do. You have so much in common.
Yeah.
Place is so much more charm because of that.
It was a great place. I had never been there before, actually, the brunch place that we went to. So I'll definitely go back.
Look at this nasty joke about this DJ. Tasty Drew. Maybe he's more of a Sticky Woods fan.
From your lips to God's ears.
That's the J. Thomas line.
By the way, how much was the longevity of V8 propelled by sitcoms using their slogan as a punchline for
a commercial?
Yeah, just like, oh, I should have had a V8.
Probably immensely. That's a great question. There's a ton of products like that over the years. That had like the perfect copywriter punchline in a commercial that propelled it into
that
maybe
could be integrated into some sitcom situation as a punchline. Like, old shows that I watch, that line comes up all the time between 10 different shows. Yeah.
I'm going to start a show with this thing because we have Crazy Robin. We're lucky to have Crazy Robin here. She's such a Robin expert. I found this bizarre interview. It's not so much that it's this fantastic reveal. It's just that anybody from the show does anything outside the Stern show, it is inhumanly, freakishly rare. Even someone like Robin, who's a made woman and can obviously, they can't even tell her what to do anymore. And why should they? And she's so... Davyd, is there a word for someone who's not nearly as deep as they think they are? I mean, some form of like
a pseudo-intellectual,
spiritual poser of some kind.
Right, like a pseudo-intellectual is the closest thing I can think of.
Pseudo-intellectual is almost a compliment for her. Yeah, that's a good one. Like Fred's a pseudo-intellectual. Vapid's a good one. Tendrils, but she thinks she's deep. And I need like a charlatan, Charla deep. or some kind of thing.
Right.
Where she has all these witch doctor friends and all these holistic, heifers.
Holistic heifers.
Heifer is a black woman's name, like most of the time, like when they want to insult someone, they'll call a woman, I can't believe you with that heifer. And I didn't even know what that meant. And we love some black women, right, Davyd? We love the brown sugar. But when Robin sullies that, it's almost like saying Clarence Thomas. Usually said Clarence Thomas is a Stephen A. Smith of the Supreme Court, and he looks like he jumped off the box of rice. That's how I feel somewhat about Robin. I don't feel the black experience coming from her at all.
I really one of my favorite things that I think you weren't involved in on Gunk was the review of Robin's book. Like Benjamin really did the Lord's work in tearing that thing apart, and you really see how she is she was grifting her way through the army and through just trying to find herself with the sort of the groups in San Francisco that she was getting involved in, possibly stealing those women's stories of abuse to use as her own, and how it just led to her being a fixture on
Unmessable with Podcast. I'm your host.
So sorry, Debbie. Go ahead.
No. So I feel there's part of me that feels sad for her on some days, but then other days it's like, oh, she's as much a sociopath. I think she's a bigger narcissist than Howard. Maybe not as big of a sociopath.
She won the contest.
She won the contest,
Dr.
right?
Drew, yeah.
I think Howard is more active with how he punishes people because he's the one with the power.
The way I would say Robin is that she is far more convivial to hang out with staff,
right,
and do social things without the elitist arrogance Howard has,
right.
Like she has her own version of it, but nothing is in close to Howard's class.
Like she'll actually do like a party she'll actually go to the parties and not leave early. I think she threw a party for Artie that involved like setting up tents on her property.
Yeah, that sounds like a good party too.
Yeah. So
I would have gotten on that.
I do think that, she the other thing too is like, as much as I think that she's sort of, as you said, like a pseudo intellectual and she's faux deep, she at least attempts to find, ways to explore aspects of self that, the problem is she just ends up with so many charlatans, whether it's the 15 Foundation or Dr. Ronnie, or she just doesn't have.
She's looking for people. How can I look deep with my immediate circle? Who can I align myself with where I look like I'm walking higher off the ground? And
where Howard just won't even try to give the pretense that he's trying to better himself. I think like things like playing the guitar. I think that he uses the celebrity friendships as his way of trying to convince the audience, like, this is how deep look at these rich people that I spend all my time with. They must consider me deep or intellectually interesting if
you are who you hang with.
Exactly. Right. But he doesn't have anything outside of who he could be associated with to make the case that he's intellectually curious.
I had a cat named Heifer, says Tendrils, because she was such a witch. It's amazing how Tendrils can relate anything you say to some scenario in her life. Like the word heifer, even, she could just go, oh, right. I had a cat. I mean, I could have said deleterious, and she'd go, oh, I had a cat named deleterious. Right. It's unbelievable with that photogenic memory.
Yeah.
Casey Derulo goes, contrarian for attention. Yeah, that's one way. Bill Maher is Bill Maher is the poster child for contrarian for attention. Professional contrarian, going to go the other way for some kind of, whatever you call in his mind is trying to get, not what's the Twitter word for viral?
Oh, good.
Oh my God! Look at what I said. I said the opposite of what you think I should say. I don't mean it. I don't stand for anything. I'm just gonna say something to get a reaction, to be different, so I stand out. I don't really stand for anything. I'm just gonna say the opposite thing.
And he doesn't have any sort of course of action that he thinks would make life better for people.
No, he doesn't have any solutions. Exactly right. He doesn't have solutions, and he just stands for nothing. He's a rich white guy who just has no, I hate kids, and I hate, mankind will cease to exist. No one will have. You're the only kid that should matter. No kids. Right. No kids, no nothing, no marriage.
It's more important to look right over someone else on his show than it is to actually have to make a case of how to make life materially better for people.
It's the old adage, Davyd, with all his ilk, right? All the political comedians and political commentators, like, let's fucking run. Then run. Yeah. You do better. Run for an office somewhere. You do it better. Go run against Gavin Newsom. Go run for higher office. Go run for Senate. You go run. Try. You show me how it's done. You do it. You find a solution. You don't have any because you stand for nothing and you want to smoke pot and the fucking, what's it called again? Club Random. And you look ridiculous. One eye is closed. You couldn't make marijuana smoking. That's all you stand for. That's all he cares about is marijuana rights, and it's all you stand for.
And legalizing sex work.
And legalizing, right. Legalizing sex work and marijuana smoking.
Bill Burr was on Club Random, and he took Bill Maher to task. It was great. But my favorite line was like, Bill's going off about how they should be doing it this way, and blah, blah, blah. And Bill Burr's like, oh, shut up! You sound like one of those idiots in fantasy football that thinks he could be a GM of a team.
Yes, that was a great. And then it triggered Burr to just go off on her for like 20 minutes.
It was great.
And Maher, I've never seen someone look emasculated like to that great. Maher started to sink into his seat and turn red, and he's like half baked, and his eyes are closing. It was just glorious.
Yeah, he couldn't even that's the thing is like Bill Burr is running circles around him, like, dressing him down, and Bill Burr is so inebriated that he can't even recognize that he's being dressed down,
Yeah. Crazy Robin goes, she's a narcissistic wide load, just insufferable. Wide load. Oh my God, remember Depp made that insult to Amber Heard in one of their fights that they had on tape? Goes, oh, how did it go? He goes, hello on that wide load. As she was walking out the door. I forget how exact, but wide load was the punchline.
It was the thing, right? We got to review that phone call. I'm starting to forget.
Sarah's becoming obsessed. Speaking of Dr. Sarah, she's become obsessed with the Depp tapes of late. She just quotes it all in the chat, and like, wait a minute, what is it from? And I'm like, I'm taking it as a serious question. So she's writing it like it's like an earnest question, but she's quoting something from the Depp Heard tapes, and I'm going, oh God, I just walked right into that.
I agree with. Sorry, do you want to read Sarah's comments? And I have something to say about it.
Sarah says Robin tries to hide her intellectual inefficiencies behind this exaggerated voice inflection. Yes, well said, Dr. Sarah.
Robin is always in ad read vocal stylings. It is always, and I think that's sort of one of the things that maybe softens Howard and everyone else in the room is that there is some semblance of professional radio voice represented in the group of people.
No, thank you. No, thank you. There's sperm on the pillows. No, thank you. No, thank you. There's sperm on the pillows.
Go ahead, Davyd. I'm sorry, that was that.
No. Very prescient time to play that clip. But yeah, I mean, and it's funny when you see Robin. I'm curious. I can't wait to watch this interview because it is kind of performance mode for her to. She knows when she has to perform with that vocal inflection.
You'll see it in all her glory here with what you're describing. Richie says Robin's playing Nell Carter's role in the Give Me a Break reboot. I didn't realize Nell Carter played Hank Gather's mom and the Hank Gather story, which is, by the way, great job on in the
Jump Street,
21 Arm Street, Swallowed Alive. Again, 7 hours, 40 minutes, $2 a month. I couldn't be more proud of throwing. It was really labor of love. It was a really difficult row to hoe. It was like, as Stephen Cannell said, giving birth to a chair for about a week. That's the launch of 21 Jump Street. Said it was like giving birth to a chair, and that's what it felt like. So yes, 7 hours, and it's a new deafening 21 Arm Street record, a Patreon record for running time.
That's the total amount of time that Howard goes on the air in a 3-month period.
That's a month, right? That's a. Robin used to join on shitting on women that were half her size with the rest of the sex pests.
Yeah, the early serious years, she had kind of gained a lot of weight again, and
I know it's nothing. Could you imagine having the hubristic unoptics of that, where that's the size she's at in this picture, and then you're fat shaming people at the same time.
Yeah,
because you have no accountability. No one's gonna, no one's allowed to push back on you.
The Gabourey Sidibe era, where I think she was pretty heavy again, Robin, and she had to go on Wendy Williams and defend Howard for fat shaming Gabourey Sidibe.
Yes.
And it just looks. There was no way to.
There's no defense.
Good. Right.
Yeah. There's no way to look good. Exactly right. Dr. Sarah says that party is at Artie's because he stayed upstairs nodding off next to a hooker and then came downstairs hours in. That's a good memory. That's right. You're right, Dr. Sarah. So here's Robin on this bizarre podcast. Again, I mean, this is like Arm deserves $4,000 a minute. Thank you, Tata Toothy.
Absolutely.
Just for, one time. I'll take that one time. Fredo was playing the elephant sound effects. Yes, Bill the Lego, exactly right. Here we go. Here's Robin on this ridiculous, fucking ridiculous, obscure. I don't even know what the ballywick. Welcome, Telly Savalas. The area
the
of
focus
expertise,
of the show.
The focus of whatever this fucking show is. It's amazing, these shows. Just tune in. It's me. I have no topics or area of expertise. Just, I don't know, whatever. Just bullshit.
Don't you just want to bask in my charisma for 2 hours?
Yes.
Jesus.
I have no product. It's me.
Right.
Welcome to the Be Unmessable with podcast. I'm your host.
Do you understand what she's being metha?
I heard beyond mescaline is what I heard. I'm kidding.
Welcome.
I'm thinking about putting closed captions up there. Her face, it's not. I'm not obscuring it. It's a split screen, so I put Robin's picture in the middle of the split screen.
To the Be Unmessable with podcast. I'm your host, Josselyne Herman Saccio, and I am
Josselyne Herman Saccio. So this is one of
Welcome to the Be Unmessable with podcast. I'm your host, Josselyne Herman Saccio, and I am so happy today because we have one of my dearest friends as my guest. She started as a nurse and then she went into the Air Force, okay? And she became a captain in the Air Force. When she finished the Air Force, she went to school for broadcasting and ended up in radio over 40 years ago. And quite honestly, the rest is history. She was inducted into the Radio Hall of Fame in 2017. She's been in all.
The rest is history because she's done nothing else except the Howard Stern show. You could just end it right there. She has no other accomplishments except being his token, his house N-word.
That phrase, the rest is history, doesn't hit the same with Robin because there's absolutely nothing in the present that is worth bringing up, right?
Author, a race car driver, a philanthropist. She has a huge passion for the stock market and is the person who turned me onto the stock market.
Sure.
So I have.
Okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Sorry.
First of all, that the obsession with the stock market, that's new. I don't know about that. But second of all,
that's something we can all relate to, right? Just dumping money into. I've never heard her talk about Wall Street at all.
Never. Yeah, I mean, I haven't heard her talk on the show except to parrot. Like, she's not even contributing anything that isn't based on something someone else said first. You know, she's only contributing rejoinders to the show. But I wanted to say she may have written Quivers of Life. I'll give you that. I remember.
So did Judith Regan.
Right, or Judith Regan Ghost wrote the vegification of Robin or whatever it was. She did not write the recipes for that book. You know, she wrote a cookbook, but
that sounds like Seinfeld's wife.
There you go. Right. So there was this male. Benjamin pointed this out. There was a male culinary guy who came up with the recipes for the book, and Robin, it's almost like Comes Again, where she wrote 17% of the book, and it's just her journey with weight loss. And
how else do you think they sell these books? You know, they get the Judith Regan comes to them, Buchwald comes to them and says, "Hey, do a book." Oh, I don't feel like writing a book. I don't have time for that.
Right.
I'm on vacation. I don't want. He's always, you know, there's no. You'll never have heavy lifting from either of them. Okay, well, we'll bring in Judith Regan, and then we'll have this ghostwriter, and he'll do all the recipes, and you just take credit for it, and that's how we'll write the book. And you could people think you wrote it, and just go on the air and say that I'm slaving, writing this book in my off time.
And Robin, I think, was nominated or won an NAACP award for Best Instructional Book, and she wrote none of the, meaning a cookbook is an instructional book. She wrote none of the recipes. So the thing she's being awarded for is not the sort of recounting of her life. That's not instructive. That doesn't qualify, you know, as part of the instructive part of the book. So it's a total fraudulent moment in her life, you know, to say that she wrote a cookbook. She did not. So anyway, just wanted to point that out.
I've never even heard her remotely bring up the subject of cooking on the show. I don't ever remember her doing as much as scrambling eggs, microwaving popcorn. I don't ever remember hearing that.
No. Yeah. It's amazing that, you know, like,
at least with a smoke show like Padma Lakshmi, she's showing you how she cooks in videos. Whether it's, I don't mean TV shows, even just Instagram and online. She's showing you, I do this. At least she shows you evidence she does this.
Yeah, and I think of someone like Valerie Bertinelli, who sort of had a gradual transition into, she did write a cookbook and she had a Food Network show, and it's like, okay, I buy it. Like, you're
Katie Lee Joel.
Right. But there's some people that I do buy their transition to, like, oh, they clearly have a side hustle in the culinary arts that they were able to turn into a book or a TV show or something. And I buy it, you know, because I see them making the recipe, you know, I see them going through the process without notes, you know, so it's like, oh, this came from within you. This is not you surrounding yourself with other people's recipes to look, you know, like you came up with them. So anyway.
And it's also so patronizing to the audience. Speaking of Patreon, that we're not going to be able to see through that we're going to buy into that, and nobody does.
Right.
As stupid as Howard's audience can be, me included, and lacking and just gullible, the gullibility factor, people know she doesn't cook. Nobody believes she's either eating out every night or not, or on some fucking stupid green drink diet. We know you don't cook.
Yeah. No, and you know, Quivers of Life details her getting double orders of fast food because she didn't want the employees at the fast food restaurant to think she was eating alone. You know,
right.
So
right. That's right.
She was totally out of control eating habits. And I'm not saying people can't change their eating habits and go from one extreme to the other, but if Robin had a skill set like being able to concoct recipes and she was like a master chef, we would never stop hearing about it on the show.
Exactly. She wouldn't stop bragging about it. Exactly. Right. Nikki Deans, this is a great reference. Imus stole recipes. Imus's wife, Deidre, stole her recipes from a chef for a cookbook. That's a great reference. I forgot about that. God, they're all fucking scam artists, huh? God, what a world we live in. And Jesus, and Robin, it's like, what a waste of reason. What is with the word? This is just a side of nothing. What is with the people pronouncing the word resources with a Z in the middle? What the fuck is that? Have you ever heard this, Davyd? The pretentious pronunciation
it sounds like an
of
old
the word
movie,
resource.
Mid-Atlantic
Z
accent
in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Every time I'm watching a political show, somebody just goes, "Oh, they're using up all their resources," and I'm like, "What the fuck? There's no Z in there."
Oh, God, I always talk about with writing movie music, with film composing stuff. There's many composers who they have a team of ghostwriters and they take the credit in the, it'll say on the movie music composed by Hans Zimmer, but it's really, Hans Zimmer is a bunch of kids in a trench coat writing the score for him. Yep. It's Don Zimmer, right? And it's amazing to see how much that goes. I mean, this may sound naive, but it's amazing to see how much that goes on in something like the culinary world, where the actual trained chef, sometimes you get like you get like the real deal people, but whether it's Jerry Seinfeld's wife or Imus's wife or Robin, there's just like culinary people who are willing to be the ghost behind these recipes and just give them over to the celebrity. There must be some amazing payout with it,
Well, that goes on with you people, and in all forms of pop culture, whether it's
totally.
Yeah, I mean, how many times has a musical score just been and didn't get even the musicians, like in a fucking Britney Spears concert,
right?
Like these great guitarists and keyboardists in the background, and
right, the actual
like the shadows are over them. Yeah, you don't even know they exist. And they're the actual talent in the whole thing.
No, it's true. Right. And I'm not saying that like I'm just discovering, that there's that kind of thing goes on. I'm just pointing it out that I think it's worth pointing out how much of that goes on in so many different industries.
I don't know how you would I don't know what kind of I guess a sociopathic narcissist is a word, attention whore or desperate creatively bankrupt piece of shit you have to be to take credit for somebody else's crap like that.
Well, my theory is that they almost see themselves as like event planners or project managers, where they don't see the skills that they're co-opting as anything other than a way to get to a final product. And it's like, well, I'm responsible for the sort of overseeing of the final product, even though you're just a glorified secretary in that case, with power. And you're just coordinating the people who have the actual talent. But, we're not talking about like delegating, you make the phone calls and you go to the store and these are skills unto themselves that, should be attributed to the right people, because, that they're inspirational, or they're the people who can actually be the educators of how to sort of gain these skills for yourself. So I think they just don't respect the skill sets that they're pilfering,
No, and they've been told you need some project outside of this, and we're going to do it the easiest, most fast food, ramshackle fucking ghetto way possible, and leave it to Robin. We will regale you as an author and a cook, and you don't have to do anything, and they'll take it.
And that's why I'm
integrity.
Right. And that's why I'm resentful of the idea that like, influencer culture is the modern day thing of influencers. Like, we never had that before. It's like, are you kidding me? Robin's an example of that. She has no talent whatsoever.
That's true.
And there's Howard too, Howard is the king of all media by virtue of being sort of salacious enough and getting attention from being
the
salacious.
Same type of poser they are, just a much older one.
Exactly. And he got book deals and movie deals and TV shows that he didn't deserve. You know, this has been going on forever, you know, people getting
Robin only talks about restaurants. Exactly, Holden. Exactly. Right. Do a restaurant book, right? All you do is go out to eat every night. Do a restaurant book. Be a fucking Buffalo Zaggett's guys.
Become a food critic for the New York Times. Like, you know, I don't know.
Telly Savalas' arm, if you customize a John Morant jersey and put my name as an arm and a pun. That's a great idea, Telly. It's a great idea. Rachel Ray, of course, Beth the bestie, the fuck who is in on the fucking Beth's Furry Friend scam.
Yes, yeah.
She's massacres Mexican recipes. That's very true. Quivers a lie, of course.
Yeah, no kidding.
Robin's cooking is like Howard's fucking grilling. It lasted 5 seconds. Yep. How's he?
I don't even remember.
I know. I almost found that clip of Howard's grilling. I went over it this week and I was like, I don't really have time for it.
So short-lived. I don't even remember. Oh, because he was grilling vegetables and stuff, right?
That's his first foray into the Hamptons. So that was part of the whole, you know, Pat Manocchia, Zoss raping thing. And they went to the same school. He's talking about resources. Yeah, it's a Grillo pronunciation. Holden, did they give you an option to sub longer? Yeah, we got to take care of the subs. I'll have Marcy Turk, Sarah Turk look into that, guys. I don't know what's going on. Shankamp, welcome Shankamp. Her hair reminds me of tentacle. How do you say it again? Hentai. Shankamp is such a hentai aficionado. Hentophile. When Tendrils says, when I worked for Sony, we had to do 6 months of cash reporting in 3 weeks. I handled it to top to bottom. My new boss took full credit for a celebration dinner and didn't even mention our team. Yeah, it's like hearing an acceptance speech at one of the award shows, and the guy who did it all never gets brought up. And like, holy, and then you just eviscerate the person online or write a tell-all book.
That's the one nice thing about the YouTube age is sort of like it's democratized the access to a camera. I mean, in some ways that can be bad, but in some ways,
hey, democratize this, pal.
Yeah. Gladly. But it does give people the access to sort of like show their chops. Like they could live stream and show off how they do, you know, how they're cooking or composing or do, you know, it sort of gives them the a window to the audience to see, oh, they're the real deal. They can really do this skill set, you know.
Anthony writes, Beth's first book was accidentally erased. Howard said they both hit save, but it couldn't be saved because it was embedded in Lotus Notes.
That's right.
Oh my God, Lotus fucking Notes. That's why I call this show Lotus Notes. My dad worked for IBM. It's also an homage to him and Jeff Schick, obviously. And it's a program. Like when I heard like, who's using Lotus Notes in 2006? I was like, well, I can't believe they're still using that shit. Who's using Lotus Notes? You know, someone hit the office was writing the book for her. Oh, God.
I never thought about that. We should review that clip where he yells at Sal because the only reason that came out was Sal emailed Beth about like, you know, here's a helpful hint, you know, copy and paste your thing into a Lotus Notes and put it.
What do you think these people do all day? Of course they're writing it. Anthony's right, and you're right. Of course they're doing that. You really think she's
of course
putting
not.
pen to paper? You really think she's not missing a opening, any party she's invited? I mean, you see the time she has.
Yeah. Well, and she said on Letterman with "Oh My Dog," like, you know, I'm not the expert. I got the expert. She's she's public enemy number one. Like in terms of like, I get to go on Letterman in the pretty dress because I'm the one who plucked these poor nerds out of obscurity and put them in my book to showcase their knowledge base. But they don't get to come in here and actually give you the information that's relevant. I get to as the mascot for, you know, the smart people that wrote my book. I'm just the dumb mascot.
Speaking of Public Enemy, you are the Flavor Flav of classical music composing, W.
My life's ambition.
Das Mega Cool said, I wish Eric the Midget was still alive. It's amazing the amazing posthumous gushing Eric the Midget still gets. It's unbelievable.
12 years dead. 12 years dead now.
12 years ago. And people talk about him as much as anyone associated with the show.
Yeah.
And it's all a Howard easy lifting. It's all a Howard punching down easy lifting thing where he would just go to Eric the Midget every day because he had nothing planned and it was an easy way to kill a half hour. The guy should have gotten like a fucking 6-figure salary from the show if you're going to use him to that degree. Beth's first book, the term is obscene. Beth never even read a book. Exactly.
Yeah, the term book is,
Dr. John Roberts, there he is. Trapper John MD. We've been waiting for him to come back. He's planning for his retirement. We wish him the best in retirement. This is a guy who probably isn't going to waste a second of retirement. He's got a zillion hobbies. He doesn't understand when people say, oh, I don't know what to do with myself in retirement with my time off. You know, this is a guy with like 15 he's gonna scuba dive for like 3 weeks on end.
His son is a musician in some capacity too. So John, I hope you're doing well.
Good to see you. I'm a Hank guy, says Tattoo. Drink Savant says, hey, Drink Savant. Yeah, thanks for dropping in, Trapper John MD. Lisa Loeb says you can't stay. That's good enough for me. I believe you. You say I only hear what I want to. I don't listen hard. I don't pay attention to the distance that you're running from anywhere. I don't understand what I really said. I'm only having negative. No. I turn my radio on. I turn my radio off. That's such a Gen X. You just launch right into it, right?
Right. A roller coaster of lyrics.
Ethan Hawke, Discovery. Lisa Loeb. Derek from Texas. And John Roberts is back to cooking Mexican food, speaking of which. You know that SOB is making burritos today. Or like chimichangas.
Outdoing Rachel Ray, apparently. Yeah.
Okay, here's Robin's interview.
All right.
To say she's almost like my dealer when it comes to the stock market because I'm a bit addicted now, and we are actually stock trading partners.
White people problems, Robin. White people problems.
And while I say she's one of my dearest friends, the truth is she's really more like family to me. So I'm so thrilled that.
Because she has no family of her own, and that is her doing. Before I play this in bulk, I just want to say this. There's nothing more wasteful to me than someone with Robin's resources, with the money and time she has, to have not at least adopted a few kids to make their lives better. She would have nothing but help, nothing but you couldn't be, okay, you don't want to carry kids yourself, you're too fucking self-serving and narcissistic, that's fine. But at least adopt a few kids. At least make someone's life. What a waste of the most highest paid newswoman in show business.
Yeah.
The biggest waste of money outside of Fred Norris and Howard himself. And she has no legacy. The lives you could change with that money and time she has is shameful. It is pitiful. And as Stan Lee said in Spite, who we're going to talk about today, with great power comes great responsibility, and she is nothing of the sort.
And I think, it's like, especially as a quote, Robin's not a journalist, but as a quote,
you are, sir.
I mean, my deepening tours prove that. We have video record of my journalism, but Robin could start like a fund for independent journalists who are getting arrested at protests or are, there's a lot of bad journalism now because so many of them are kowtowing to, corporate media whims, your Barry Weiss's and so forth. If Robin had good people in her ear, they could direct her to do something good with her money for the sake of like independent journalism, thriving. She totally
charities you could. I can't explain what an absolute waste of everything her life is.
Yeah, because it's all things that it's all self-helpy stuff that she's gotten involved with where it didn't benefit anyone except her. But she thought like, well, the way that I'll make up for this narcissistic self-help stuff is by being a spokesperson for it on the other side, and that's my do-gooding for my life, is that I let you know about this life-changing thing. I didn't, give you the money to participate in it. I didn't get trained in how to actually lead people through a course and how to gain the knowledge. But me being a spokesperson for this thing that I think is good enough in terms of my contribution to the world.
Howard tried that shit with, and Kathy Griffin called him out on it. He was like, Gary runs in the studio. He's like, you don't know what I donate to. You don't know what I do for charity. Gary tried to come in with these fake things, and Kathy Griffin was like, just show me. What do you do? Like, what? Just give me a little example.
Good for her. Yeah.
What do you do? And she stayed on it. And it was, he looks, I have that clip somewhere in my folder. Well, he looked so foolish. He couldn't come up with anything. And Gary tried to do damage control, and he just said ridiculous.
Well, is that the same clip where he admits to her, like, I give nothing to charity? Like he said, like, he draws a picture of himself. He gives like crap to them,
Yep. It was then an additional one. She went further with it, and she's like, well, what do you do? Like, I can't believe it. He's like, oh, you know, just because I don't brag about it on there. It's like, all right, well, he's like, brag about it. What do you just give me a little example of one thing you do charity wise? And he couldn't. He's going, and then Gary ran in and tried to do damage control, and that was more ridiculous. Beth reminds me of the Dire Straits song Lady Writer, when Mark Knopfler says, the way you used look, and I know you never read a book. It's about the ex-lover who looked good but was so super dumb. Oh, great reference, Housey.
Yeah,
I always money for nothing, chicks for free. We always quote that. The Stern Show. That's Howard's life. Money for nothing. That's his goal when he got to Sirius. Money for nothing. The wrong people have all the money, Tendrils says. Yes. When I got my severance from Sony, I gave a $100 bill to a local homeless that were around my neighborhood. I would do so much with my wealth. Yeah, I agree with the Tendrils. So would I. And everybody says they would do so until they're rich themselves, and then they hoard it. I don't agree with that at all. It really is. Billionaires are a billionaire for a reason. They are fucking cheap.
Yeah, there's no ethical way to become a billionaire.
There's exactly. He donates thousands of dollars anonymously. Right, Holden. Sure you do, Howard. Here we go.
She is here today on the show.
And he would brag about it, Kelly. Exactly right.
My friend, media icon, Robin Quivers. Welcome, Robin.
Wow. That was quite an introduction.
He's a lesbian. We've got lesbians. Another lesbian friend for Robin. I don't need to be stereotypical, and you don't have to live in West Hollywood to know this woman plays third base for the what's the name of this podcast again? Do you remember the name of it?
The Whom for Harmfa podcast. I don't even know.
Harmfa softball team. Yes. Thank you, Davyd.
I don't know if edit it for you so that you can play it every morning.
I want to sing my League of Their Own soundtrack right now when it's here.
Sounds like a big deal.
You can wait. You can put that as your alarm clock, and when you wake up, it'll be like.
So once again, I just want to say that it's so ridiculous. The Stern Show. All the people never do anything outside that show. They're not allowed to. There's a Marcy rule. There's a Buchwald rule. This is Howard show, and I don't want you going around and God forbid you do a better job on someone else's show and make them look. So he's so jealous and bitter. This is a very rare stepping out of someone on the show doing it. This is from like a month ago.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just no one saw it. It just slipped in. It was on my fucking my YouTube feed, and I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm not obsessed with views or anything, but it was crazy how few people saw or never ended up on Reddit. Nothing.
It came up on your Daily Motion page, did it?
Yes. I released it along with the Pelican Brief. The holistic heifers. Now, well done, Drink Savant. I love how it takes a whole hour to get to the actual clips. Steve Jobs always bragged how he never gave a penny to charity. Yes, he did, Holden. Seems like Howard only donates at fancy celebrity parties. So simple. Beth can dress up and beg. Yes, Spectre, that's the whole motivation.
And welcome, media icon to life.
I'll just step into that every morning.
Sounds good to me. So is there anything I missed? Anything you want people to know that I mean, obviously it's a huge career, so I'm sure I didn't hit everything, but
it's not a huge career. It's
and I'm pretty old, so it would be hard to get everything in. But
so Robin is she a year older than Howard or 2 years older than Howard? So Howard's 72. She's either 73 or 74. I can't remember if she's 1 or 2 years older.
Robin Quivers was born in August of 52. So she's 2
fucking
years older.
74 now. Crazy.
She'll be 70. Wait. Yeah.
She'll be 74 like soon.
Her birthday is August 8th. So it's
okay. So she'll be 74. Yeah. Okay.
She'll be
I lost any respect for Gary when he defended Howard for not going to his dad's. Agreed, Housey. Yeah. Agreed.
I think I'm good. All of that was actually true. So
good. No lies so far. So keep ourselves honest. One of the reasons, obviously, I wanted to invite you to my shows because it's my show and you're one of my best friends, but also because you are really one of the most unmessable with human beings I've ever interacted with. And we've known each other a long time, like almost 30.
What was that word, Davyd? On what?
Unmessable? Like you can't mess with Robin? Is that what you're saying?
I guess it's just as simple as I thought. I thought it was like a.
By the way,
a word
both of them got their art provided by badcoffeeshopart.com.
I know.
Jesus.
Panera Bread would reject that, Davyd, right?
Yeah, I would throw it out on my show. Too.
Hold on a second.
30 years, I think.
It's been a while.
It has been a while. It's kind of crazy. And I wanted to give you the chance to share with our listeners some times in your life that you can recall where you were dealing with such difficult circumstances that.
And you better share well, Robin, because there are a lot of listeners. Share with the 15 listeners she has.
Most people might not have risen above it, might have just gone down for the count in those circumstances, but you were able to transcend what you were dealing with and emerge what you and I call unmessable with. So whatever comes to mind.
Oh, that's so
well, gee, it's really interesting when I think about, you introduced me to the term unmessable with, and I was like, well, what is that? And
it's okay, Davyd. I just quickly looked it up. It's a term in the executive high performance, almost like a getting things done word. Unmessable means living in a world of creation, not reaction. Oh, great way to fucking gas her stupid head up, as if she's creative. She's a creative bone in her body.
Wait,
it means
being able to create a face.
Being unmessable means living in the world of creation, not reaction. It means being able to create in the face of any circumstance or any.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh my God.
And I always, it was almost like I stepped out of the womb unmessable with, because, I was born in some curious circumstances. And
so that's the name of this show. Unmessable.
Oh, that's why
podcast.
I couldn't understand it, because it's.
I still don't understand. Even based on the word, I still don't understand what they're going for here. I still don't understand what the theme is. It's so ridiculously myopic. Who's this for?
Well, I think what they're implying is that it in the lesbian Tony Robbins world that we're witnessing here. What that definition implies to me is the ability to create is actually the ability to run away from responsibilities, accountability. As long as you can create.
I'm a tortured artist, so don't bother me.
Well, and not only that, but just like as long as you can create little chutes and ladders to escape any wrongdoing that you do in your life, that's the way to go. Because reaction means that you may actually have to confront demons, confront wrongdoing, work within a community of people that also want to benefit in their lives, and that you feel some sort of empathy for that. I may be reading way too much into it.
No,
but
I mean it's a braggadocio, humble braggadocio. It's like saying we're so much better than you. We're unmessable. is really what they're saying. I mean, isn't that the gist of it, right? We're better than you. We're unmessable.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
And by creating a path forward for us and us alone, you know, it's not about raising all boats, raising the tide for all boats. It's
raising my tide.
Yeah,
my boat.
My life's ambition. Yeah, it's about total self-centeredness and not reacting to anything else around you, even if it's sort of conducive for you to do so, because we fucking live in a society, you know.
Robin's involved. Of course it's that. Of course it. How come Robin's never mentioned? Because Telly, they're not allowed to talk about anything on the show that's transparent. Yeah. Yep. It's way too. Howard just does not have the chops to make fun of this. The right people aren't there. It's just not. I think Robin has just been like, I mean, this is the Stern Show is so irrelevant. It's so that a woman with cancer can do it. It's so easy. It's so the antithesis of heavy lifting that a woman with cancer can actually be on it, and it takes no effort at all.
Well, I think Robin has also learned her, you know, boy who cried wolf lesson of like 15 Foundation was a disaster. Mentioning that pianist that she was probably hooking up with was a disaster. Like Simone Dinnerstein.
Yeah.
So bringing anything of her own to the show that isn't based on some premise that Howard came up with is always a disaster. And so she probably is just like, no, I'm going to keep my private life to myself because it never works out in the show, you know.
About time, right. She finally learned a lesson. Tell you about Zavala says, Robin looks like she's king of all blacks nowadays.
You know, with a family that was not all, you know, that together and didn't really know what they were doing and didn't know how to raise kids or be a family.
That's you. That's you. You're like Oprah. No kids, no husband, but you're going to give advice on both things all the time. Holden says, I have my MA in English, and I've never heard the word unmessable.
First of all, the fact that the term isn't just unmessable, like that's gross too, but I could kind of accept that. The fact that the full phrase is unmessable with.
It's no better than unfuckable. Right. Yes. Right? It's not like it's more
it's so grammatically clunky and does not roll off the tongue, and it's such a stupid that's a really stupid attempt at a catchphrase, you know.
It is a variation of saying that Robin can't be fucked with. Of course, Tendrils, of course it's that. Or she can't be scrambled with. Tata Toothy is a good example here. Sarah is actually unmessable. That's very, very true, Tata Toothy. So fucking intimidating. It's amazing to get heckled by your sometime podcast partner in the actual chat and real life. Remember, Robin claimed that she played an actual character on the show, of course. King of All Black's hair is actually real, says Tata Toothy. Greetings. Let me say, welcome, MFT. And I consider all of you unmessable. Thank you, MFT. Thank you.
And they also had a lot of preconceptions about.
Do you guys read into anything in the fact that our show running time right now is 1:12 as we talk about how? I swear to God.
Oh, you know, what a girl could do. Or what a black girl could do.
You're not a girl, you're 74.
And I heard that like on a loop as I was growing up. And I always thought, who are they talking about? They couldn't be talking about me.
That's pretty funny, actually. Most people take things personally. You're like, what are they doing? Who are they talking about? That can't be me.
About
Can you pause it? So Robin is saying that, you know, in her childhood, her family didn't expect much of her because of her gender and because of her race, and she wanted to fight against that. But meanwhile, she gets involved with a radio show that all they do is try to keep people in their place based on their gender. Like, you should be skinny and their race. Right.
Yep.
And allowed it and encouraged it for a 50-year, 40,
especially when
career.
it's bullying someone else,
right?
And you couldn't be more compliant to jumping on the bandwagon, to punching down. even when you are fatter than most of the people you're making fun of.
Right. And also, if this show is about promoting people that are meant to be a model of you can do it too, I would say to this host, like, let's pull clips of Robin totally keeping people down because of their race and gender, you know.
How many terabyte hard drives do you have for that?
Exactly.
Right? I mean, let's face it. Can we just get a little real here? This is a way he has to have, right? You have to start everything. You have to put a qualifier in the beginning and say, this is a way that she's the ultimate underdog, right? I have to start this out that I'm overcoming adversity at all times. There's never a time where I'm just as equal with everybody else. I'm always I'm overcoming the odds, no matter what the situation is. I have to paint myself like an underdog. She learned that from Howard. Every situation, it's never no advantages. I've never had an advantage. I never cut the line. I'm always the underdog. You can never, and that's the showbiz thing. That's not just these two jagoffs. It's everybody in show business has to lie about politics too. That whole Plattner thing, right? He had a whole, rich parents, and he had to make himself. He tried to hide all that, and I like a lot of what he supposedly stands for. But
I liked his policies. But I'm not going to have a rapist in the Senate more than there are.
But the goal in politics is you have to make yourself out to be. You come from nothing, and they never do. It's almost like 85% of the people in high politics come from a lot of money because you can't run without funding a campaign, right? Yeah. Unless you're AOC.
Or unless you're truly getting, sort of from the people and not from APAC and corporations,
But all I'm saying is in show business, sports does it, and politics. You have to present this fake underdog story at all time, even if it's not true. You can never admit I'm a privileged born on third base Nepo baby. You can never say it. You always have to hide that because you are fearful. No one will gravitate to you. Nobody wants to like that.
I think we played a clip on The Deafening like a couple of years ago where who was the daughter of Alec Baldwin that he called a pig?
Haley Baldwin. No, is it shit? No, Ireland. Ireland.
Like Ireland Baldwin kind of had some video response. I forget what it was, but maybe it was to Lily Rose Depp. Like just
it was,
and talking about like, hey, I'm the first to admit that I'm a total Nepo baby, right?
Yep, admit it. Oh, it's Brian Williams' daughter too.
Brian Williams, right? Alison Williams, right? Yeah.
She said, hey, I'll admit it. I had advantages. My dad is a big broadcaster and knows people in show business. I had a big advantage. And I respect her so much for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show me one person that knows how to raise kids. There's no fucking manual, Robin. How's he football? So, right. Robin was middle class by any standard. In Robin's slight defense, Civil Rights Act hadn't passed until she was born. So she did live in two different worlds in her lifetime. True and Tendrils.
Yeah.
Ireland. Thank you, Holden. The oldest kid, I think. Yep.
You don't know anything about the world. You're 4, you're 5, And so it just didn't seem to me that there should be all these restrictions. And so I was just like, whatever, that's not going to be my life. And, so I just marched on. And when we moved to a new neighborhood, I became the only Black kid in my kindergarten class. And, I was being prepared for something.
How is she in Baltimore and she's the only Black kid in her kindergarten class? How is does she search for a white class? Like, how is that possible? There's a picture of Eddie Murphy in elementary school, and this is Roosevelt, where Howard thinks, oh God, I was the only white guy. His whole class was white.
Yeah,
it was like him and another Black kid, and that was it.
Yeah.
Private school, Benton. Right. Private element. Ireland Baldwin looks like Kim Basinger. That's right. She's not a pig.
It's interesting because Brown versus Board of Education would have just passed when Robin started kindergarten. Like maybe she was 2 years into the sort of post-segregation era in public schools.
What about the Scopes monkey trial?
God. The only other Supreme Court case that is ever referenced.
I learned that from both those things when you said that. I learned that from an episode of 21 Jump Street where they had
funny.
The Scholastic Bowl, and Hanson had to go into this like teen high school trivia, like a Jeopardy trivia thing, and they got to criminal justice and he cleaned up in the case. It's like in the first season.
Yeah, no, it's the go-to I know what's the history of Supreme Court cases references. It's funny. So yeah, I don't know if it just was kind of slowly happening that racial integration was happening after Brown versus Board of Education, that Robin was, the only black kid in her kindergarten class. Or she's lying,
Or she's lying, which she could. I don't know if there's. I don't know. Could be Miranda versus Arizona. Could be Gideon versus Wainwright.
Roe v. Wade.
Could be Roe v. Wade. Could easily be those things. Davyd wrote about the Scopes monkey trial for his school paper, says Tata Tuthi.
I didn't do that, but I did read the play Inherit the Wind, which is about the Scopes monkey trial. And I did
Inherit the wind through my feet. She rides the night next to Swizzy. She Drink Savant goes, I learned a lot of esoteric trivia from television. I get, thank you, Drink Savant.
Totally.
That means
I
a lot
do
to
too.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Drink Savant. Private School, one of my favorite TNA teen movies from the 80s.
I don't think Robin went to private school. I think
who am I, Alan Dershowitz over here?
Terrible to happen. Okay, you're going to go there and people are going to probably do whatever. And,
I'm sure they were preparing. They were scared, I'm sure.
And they were frightened, right? And so I walked into the classroom and they gave me a seat.
And Debbie, the rule of thumb, if they're from the Stern Show, there's a 90% chance they're lying.
And, the class went on and I was just thinking, well, maybe I'm not supposed to do this, and I saw the other kids sort of stepping up and doing things. And I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to like join in and do what they're doing, and stuff like that. So I just sort of sat and took it all in. And, this kid started talking to me in the class and she's like, oh, well, where do you live and where are you from? And, that kind of thing. And, she just kept talking. I kept answering and I found out about her. And, the next thing I know, I'm sitting in her little group.
Robin talks with her hands more than an old guinea does. And she has huge Otis Thorpe, Cedric Ceballos hands, doesn't she?
Also, she has mastered the Howard Stern non-story, by the way. Like,
yes.
This is a laundry
non-story
list. Yeah, this is an itinerary of how a day went with no point.
That's every kid's kindergarten, nursery school experience. Every single kid on the face of the earth. You are not unique.
Kindergarten story.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
Unless she's leading up to some like big reveal. I mean, I want to see where this goes, but I have
of course there's no reveal. Of course she's not Davyd.
No.
Dickie Work was the Inherit the Wind, the first Darren from Bewitched. David's favorite. Robin looks like the turtle that used to race Bugs Bunny, says A. Smith. That's a great comparison. We were talking about old Looney Tunes the other day. How it was it was the ultimate reference because it was on all the time. Right. And it was the ultimate thing to reference with your friends at the playground. And you always get a laugh at it. She talks like she's ordering fucking Gambino Capo getting whacked, says Tata Tuthi. There's JJ Thrash. Welcome, JJ. The second Darren to Bewitched played an evil character in the original Charlie's Angels series.
He was also gay, yeah.
Tendrils loves Charmed, by the way. Charmed these angels. Both Aaron Spelling shows, right?
I think so.
Charlie's Angels is an Aaron Spelling show, right?
At lunchtime, and everybody's talking, and sometimes some crazy things were said. It was like,
oh my Duke Vincent over here. There's Quitter's here, everyone. It's fucking Quitter.
Very hysterical to me, because I remember she was wondering. She didn't say anything, but she went home one day and she said to her mom, I have this new friend, her name is Robin, and her skin is brown. And she said, so why is her skin brown? And her mother said, oh, she's just like, when we leave cookies in the oven too long and they get a little dark. And she came into school the next day. She goes, I know why Robin is brown.
And
my cookies know more about the Black experience than you do, Robin. My cookies know far more about the struggle than you do. I do. My cookies throw cookouts. My cookies are honored at the BET Awards. I do love Charms of Tendrils. I watched it 6 times, the entire series. Good Lord. I think you and I watch it for different reasons, Tendrils.
I'm sure that was a revelation to you.
Yeah. And she tells this story.
The power of 3.
And I'm like, I know that's not true. But who cares? Okay, whatever floats your boat.
Exactly. That's the exact words I was going to use. I'm glad you said it.
Tamara is back, everyone.
Oh, it was pretty funny. That I was like, boy, people say weird. I listen to weird
Who am I rooting for in the World Cup? Canada and Haiti, of course.
stuff at home. And other people say weird stuff too. So I wasn't really going to be affected by all these strange things that were said. Or
all right, Sarah, there's Marcy Turk. I'll take $50 for things that never happened. Alex is Holman. And Rose McGowan, Tata Toothy. Don't forget Rose McGowan. And there's Autobot, everyone. Good afternoon, Autobot Al. I just finished watching Spain win and advance to the semifinal against France. And I'm going to watch X-Men 97 Season 2 tonight. Aren't you jealous? I am. And Captain America showed up in Episode 4, Autobot, on a rooftop with Black Widow talking to Wolverine. Count how many times you say you know. You're right, JJ Thrash.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot ahead to this 26-minute mark where she starts to brag again to get through this. I'm not going to make you listen to this. It's from this podcast is actually shorter than our. Yeah, she's lost it. They both lost it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I regret wearing heels. So I stopped wearing heels that day. And the second thing she said, which mirrors what you're saying, is, I'm just not
more flats than Elizabeth Hurley in the 90s and South England.
Not worried about whether people like me anymore.
Well, I was well liked and nobody ever stopped talking to me. They got a big kick out of me,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what's Robin gonna do now?
That's
because
better
it
to be
wasn't
respected.
the usual thing, it was like, oh, something's going to happen because
Let me just make a recommendation before I forget. Autobot Al's right. X-Men 97, if you're not aware, is an animated series, a continuation of the great 90s animated series that 21 Jump Street brought because it started the Fox network. And Fox took over Saturday mornings in the 90s, and it is such a brilliant series. Then it is better now. It is 2 seasons. I think it's just going to be about 20 episodes after, but they're longer episodes, and they are packed full of everything. It is a highbrow, well-written superhero Marvel animation action cartoon. I highly recommend it. It is better than the movies. It is better than most of them. It is a masterpiece as animated. Davyd did the musical score, of course. And we found out that it is, did you know that, did I tell you this, that the X-Men theme song, my nephew has a caveat to this, but they have put a side, and you're a musical savant. The X-Men theme song bit off Whitney Houston's "I'm Your Baby Tonight," so it goes. I'm your baby tonight. So somebody's fused together the X-Men animated opening theme, which doesn't have lyrics to it, with Whitney Houston's I'm Your Baby Tonight. It fits in perfectly. So they accuse the X-Men musical composer of stealing Whitney Houston's I'm Your Baby Tonight.
Okay.
Isn't that crazy? And then my nephew said that Fox NFL took the X-Men theme and used it, and I believe that to be true as well.
Okay.
I'm your baby tonight. You see what I mean? You see what I mean?
Hear it. I hear it.
No, Robin's coming, and so that kind of thing was going on all the time. And another thing that I discovered was don't automatically assume what the reaction will be. So Bill Maher, the guy who does Politically Incorrect or whatever that he's calling it now on HBO, his father was our editor. So I've known Bill since he started doing stand-up comedy because we used to watch.
Wait a minute. I know the history that Bill Maher's dad worked at WNBC with that, but I didn't know that was considered his position.
Yeah, I've never heard that either.
It always comes up. I worked with your dad, and meaning that he's just hanging out there, like he's got some other. But I didn't know editor.
But what does that mean, editor? Like, is he?
I don't know.
Or?
If the radio show's live, how is he editing anything?
Right. Huh.
I don't know. Was he the Dead Air Dave of his time?
That's the only sort of.
Isn't it ironic, Mr. Bill Maher, Mr. Free Speech, First Amendment obsessed? His dad is a Dead Air Dave.
Yeah, Willie. I pulled up Bill Maher's his father. So Bill Maher's father, William Aloysius Maher Jr. Aloysius. Thank you.
You know why I know that name? Because it's Patrick Ewing's middle name.
Okay, thank you. I've never seen that spelled out. Was a network news editor and radio announcer. So he was maybe he worked directly with Robin.
News.
Maybe
the highest paid stammering newswoman. Sarah says vocal fibers, Robin screeching. Pick your poison.
I know.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
So yeah, Maher. In the early he would come on and they talk about his dad, but it was never that specific.
Right.
And it was almost as if Maher didn't know what his dad did.
Well,
he was so self-absorbed that he didn't know what his dad did exactly.
And I would venture Robin and Howard didn't know what his dad did because they can't see anyone past their own nose.
That's right. So. I'm kind of on the look. I try to go back, and I remember when Maher coming on the show, like in the 90s, in the mid to early 90s, and he was promoting his. I don't even know what the literary term for this would be. It's a biography about his stand-up days in the late 70s. But he's not named. He uses pseudonyms for the people he's talking about, and so that's super annoying.
Yeah,
and he easily should have named the names. We could figure out. He's the star of the book, and if you read the book, his name is Buck in the book, and it's this. He brags. You could tell because the character brags all the time, and it's clearly him. It's this pompous, arrogant bragging about what he's born to do this, and he's walking higher off the ground than his fellow comedians, and you could tell in one paragraph it's him.
Yeah, I mean the sort of pussy ass nature of no one can tell me what to do. I won't be pushed around in show business, but I'm gonna protect the innocent here and not name their real names.
Oh, the 30 views this podcast has, the damage you would cause. I'm the only one that knows exists. I couldn't believe this didn't get on anybody's radar except my stupid radar.
Right.
Holden goes, I worked at WNBC and I never heard he was an editor. He was a newsman. Oh my God, Holden, we got to have you on the show with your WNBC stories. What the fuck? I didn't know you worked there.
So is Robin just
have the old school knowledge?
Yeah, is Robin just downgrading the position that he actually had? Like, he was just an editor. Like, her memory makes people less than her, as time goes on.
Of course, everyone's beneath. Right, everyone's beneath her. Of course. According to Wikipedia, his father was a network news editor, whatever the fuck that means. I know, what a strange job title. Everybody, all together, put that on your LinkedIn page and see if anybody pushes back. I bet you they don't. They'll be like, well, whatever. Okay, I'll take it. Can't check on it. I'm hoping that the end credits. Yes. You asked for it, you got it. Autobot Al is right. We're all asking for Alpha Flight to come back. The first in season 2 should have been a 2-part episode because the comic book storyline is much bigger and many more characters in it. We all agree. We all agree Alpha Flight needs to come back in a major way, and they need their own movie. NBC, yes, Tata Toothy. NFL ripped off the theme from Joe and Jet. I hate myself. Yes, he's right. I can't wait for Sunday night. That's right. That's right.
Him with his dad, and Bill Bill Sr. was a great guy. And so one day I handed in, he would go over our copy to make sure we were, copacetic and everything we were going to put on the air. And so one day I, collected the stories I wanted and I wrote the copy, and then I handed him the tapes I was going to play of reporters.
And you haven't done that in 35 years. And now you have interns.
That was the one.
As you abuse them out the door.
Right, and not even when I think they went national. I think she was doing that with interns even when they were just in the tri-state area.
That's probably is the last time. You're right.
So she's describing the last time that she ever had to write copy was because Bill Maher Sr. was her superior, and they got into a position.
That's the last reference point you have. You're right. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
because
1984, 85.
Because once they got to K-Rock, Robin doesn't have a news editor that I know of. I mean, she's sort of like her own department. So it's like, great, I'm going to have interns do the hard work for me. And same with Howard. Howard doesn't have anyone telling him what to do, really. So
how dare you, Holden? I'm going to have you indicted for impersonating a WNBC employee in the 80s.
Reporting on these stories, and he said, "Oh, you've used all female reporters, and you can't do that. You're a female, and then all of the reporters you're going to
underdog story.
Use are female in these stories."
I'm over. And play the Robin theme music, Fred, right now. This is when you play it. G flat, E minor, G major. I love when your music teachers in a class go G minor, F major,
major 6 down a minor second.
Instead of just going along with that, I just said, Bill, would you say that to me if I was a guy and these were all men?
I hate men.
And he stopped and he thought.
Oh my gosh.
And he said, forget everything I just said.
Did you know, I think a lot of people do know this, and I know you know this, that she was on Mars first, politically incorrect on Comedy Central with Seinfeld
and Larry Miller.
Larry Miller. Yeah. Great. I remember watching it. I remember when it first started. So before Bill Maher went to ABC, when they canceled because of 9/11, he had his shows on Comedy Central, and it ran, I think it was every day. It was 4 or 5 days a week. And then they moved it to ABC, but she was on the first show.
Yeah.
With Seinfeld and Larry Miller.
She comes off on that show as such a try-hard, by the way.
Yep.
Like Seinfeld and Larry Miller are just acting casual. I mean, they're being dicks too, but like Robin came off as very preachy on that show. If I recall.
I got to watch it again. We should go over that. We should.
Future Lotus. That
would be great. That would be great. I think we should. Maybe next show.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with. We got to do the Julia Roberts thing soon too.
I know. Yeah, that's my baby. I've been neglecting.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah. So don't assume that you're going to have a problem or this is, an issue that needs to go to the board or whoever it is.
I'm trying to remember, Holden, how that rolled out. I'm trying to remember if Mars Politically Incorrect was on at 11 or 11:30 because The Daily Show comes along with Kilborn somewhere in the mid 90s, and that was always 11. So I'm trying to remember I think you're right, it was 11:30, and then they always had a hard time keeping that 11:30 slot. Comedy Central I'm talking about, like, the Colbert Report, and Colin Quinn had a show for 2 years, and they would constantly move. They could never get that situated, that 11:30 slot. But yeah, I think it was more until ABC, it was stable until ABC got it.
Yeah. By the way, just going back to the term unmessable with, or whatever it is, the idea of not being reactionary, like you always create solutions, you never react to something, made me think of Robin being called out by Howard for being late to her book signings when she was doing the book tour. And Robin reacted by leaving the studio to go clip her stories in the back room. So that's another thing I would say, is that this woman has a videotaped record of 30 years of walking out of the studio, throwing tantrums. There was the whole, in 2003, remember she got into that big fight with Stuttering John over the beer. There was like a beer promotional event that, whatever that was, and she was like losing her goddamn mind over that. I don't think I've ever heard her admit to a mistake or being wrong, which is really how she climbs off the narcissist chart to a degree. She's even worse than Howard is with that. I agree. Yeah. So that's what I mean when I said earlier that the idea of being a creator as opposed to a reactionary is you create a fantasy world where you're never wrong, as opposed to reacting to a situation where maybe you've wronged somebody in order to learn something about how to treat people better. So that's why I hate all these bullshit, Tony Robbins, approaches to stuff like this, because it's always self-centered without consideration for other people. Yeah. I mean, it's also exactly. I mean, the self-help part of it is just to empower yourself to be more of a type A egomaniac than you already are. Exactly. That's exactly right. And damn the rest of the world, and I'm me, and I'm knocking doors down, and I'm all about me, and I don't care who's in my way. And it's a great way to create assholes, inconsiderate assholes. Absolutely. And nobody wants to be around someone like that. I just certainly don't. Right? Yeah. Who wants to be friends with someone like that? Absolutely not. Do you remember? Yes, of course I do, Holden. That's a good. You did that twice. Full show too. Politically Correct with the Whack Pack. Yeah. Certainly, that was a brilliant episode of the E Show. That was really funny. When he was earnestly asking the Whack Pack political, asking Croy, current questions. Yeah, right, exactly. Maher's really good on that. He really did a great. I mean, you have to play it earnestly, or the bit doesn't work. You can't sit there and goof. And I mean, he would occasionally like sigh and goof. Am I really doing this? But it was so funny. No, he did it. I will give it to him in those two instances. But yeah. I don't know why they didn't bring it back on the fucking Howard TV show. Would have been incredible. Absolutely. That absolutely requires a repeat performance. Walking out in the Cleveland book signing, Davyd was there, and he was online, Tot the Toothy. It is weird that I was probably around. I mean, that was 94. I was 5 years old when she came to Cleveland to do that book signing. True self-help book will always look for the win-win-win, says Tendrils. Focus on self and only self is important, but it can't exclude others. Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to have both. The two can never meet. And who wants to be friends with someone like that? I certainly don't. We all know that type A-hole I'm talking about. I have that. They can't. They can't. Well, they always have to win. Win. You can't play pool with the person. You can't do anything. Everything's a competition or a contest or a one-upsmanship. Well, and also I forget the term, and I have to go back through the shows to find it again. But you always bring up the type of person who kisses the ass of rich people that they don't even know, in order to just kind of put the energy out there that maybe being wealthy. I'm going to be you. Yeah. Right. I'm pre-rich. This is the era of my life where I'm not quite rich yet, but I'm going to be rich. You're rooting for the rich to get richer because you think you're going to be that person, but you're not. Exactly. There is a 99.8% chance, 99.9% chance
99.999% chance you are not going to be that person.
Exactly.
And all you do is root for, you think you're wealthy and you're not. And you can't wait for athletes to get bigger salaries. And even though it's anti-fan, and you can't wait for movie stars to make more money. You're not that. You're not getting that. It's not going to you.
Yeah, even people defending like Taylor Swift for having her wedding at MSG, like she's clearly an evil billionaire, and her fans won't admit it because I think it's
why do you need to go to Madison Square Garden? You are from Pennsylvania. Travis Kelce is from Ohio.
Right.
What on earth does Madison Square Garden have to do with your life on any level?
With your love story, right?
You know the attention it's going to garner. Why do you need to do that with all the options and resources you have? You have to do that.
I played Topher Grace's wedding, and he didn't announce it on social media that he was getting married in a secluded place in Santa Barbara.
Even Josh Brolin, for Christ's sake.
Josh Brolin's daughter. I played her wedding, and they did it on his property in the Central Valley. So.
Oh, Top the Tooth, he's right. It was a politically incorrect episode. Had all the WWF guys on at the same time. It was like that's on YouTube, I believe, too. Bobby the Brain Heenan, Piper. Oh, I got to watch that again. It's the Steinbeck quote of how the poor see themselves as temporarily embarrassed millionaires.
Yeah,
that's so deep, Drake Savant. That's good.
The full quote is something like most of the working class, they never see themselves as exploited labor. They see themselves as temporarily embarrassed millionaires.
Yes. Thank you. He doesn't mean John Steinbeck. He means Terry Steinbeck, the old A's captain.
I love how there's always a sports figure that shares a last name with someone else. That's
I could do that too. Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
That's such an Artie move too that he would do in this turn, and nobody got it because the whole fucking show is sports illiterate.
Right.
Mars pissed. Yeah, Mars. Bill Maher kind of warrants a show. Like the feuds they've had over the years.
It's
the in and out.
The most checkered past of
very weird.
We like each other. We don't like each other.
Yep.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift was born 30 miles from Holden. Taylor Swift tells that story about Holden more than he does her. Kirk Hammett, Taylor Swift's CIA psyop.
Yeah.
People like that are also manipulative. Davyd, did Topher Grace let you watch his fan edit version of the Star Wars prequel?
I didn't even know about those.
I heard he turned into Venom during the wedding. Right in the middle of the house.
I will say no one from that 70s show was invited to the wedding. And that's was
great how he stays free of Ashton Kutcher and what's his name?
And Danny Masterson. And this was probably 10 years ago that he got married. So this was not even like post scandal. This was like, I always got the sense that he really did not like the cast of that show. He
was felt like
a good Midwest boy who wanted to keep his distance from the, bad goings on with the rest of the cast.
I agree. And we all agree.
Talk to a lot of times I just handle things with the person I'm dealing with. There was a time I was cutting some tape with an engineer I didn't know, and
Scott.
So this is Scott. How much you want to bet that Scott Salem and she refuses to bring his name up, and that's how she deals with bringing up Scott, an engineer I don't know. How much you want to bet that is Scott Salem?
I can't think of any other engineer that
there's no other way. There's no other person it could be.
It was videotape, and these women were in the video, and he makes this weird sexist comment about one of the women he's looking at in the video. And I just said, "Do you know me?" And he said, "No." I said, "Then how do you know that's an appropriate statement to make around me?"
Wait a minute. Pause it. I'm sorry. You are a enabling co-host on one of the most sexist pieces of media that the United States of America has ever produced.
Probably the most.
The most, I would say. Yes. you can't possibly go down this road in this interview now without having some pang of hypocrisy hit you.
No, she's not capable of that, Davyd. That's where
no, I know.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable to me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Holden's like, what?
Oh, I didn't mean. I said, don't assume anything.
And
I'm here to cut tape. Why don't we do that? And
so profound.
Speaking of cut tape, goodbye.
Goodbye,
you fucking heifer.
What the fuck? Honestly,
yeah, you heard that with your own ears, Davyd. You've just been, I mean, the lack of the unself-awareness. Speaking of, what's the name of this dumb podcast again? Forgot already.
Unmessable with podcast.
Unself-awareness, they got to call it.
Yeah, I mean, did Robin come to the defense of the girl who didn't want to strip in front of her brother on
no,
It's Just
not.
Wrong? And okay.
Of course not.
Yeah.
And we could go on and on and on. You'll get to hear Meg Griffin rip her a new one in a little while. Speaking of people's father they worked with, here's something I found. Thank you to the gentleman on Reddit that plugged this. This is Greg Fitzsimmons talking about his dad in the early days having a feud with Howard to the Sklar Brothers, who are this twin. It's such a bizarre thing.
Yeah.
We're twins in show business, and we do and somehow that you get hired as twins, and it's amazing that could fly in any way. Big sports fans, these guys. My cousin worked for them on a show called Cheap Seats on ESPN Classic, where you comment on, it's like doing Mystery Science Theater on old sporting events.
Oh, I love that.
No longer on, of course.
Did the Sklar Brothers tell your cousin directly the Dennis Miller Airport story?
No, and I've asked him to tell them again. I've asked him.
I want to hear it from them.
Yeah, I want to hear it again too.
How it actually went down.
So the story, really quick for everyone, in case you're wondering, I'll make it really
Sorry
quick.
to detour.
The two of them went to Michigan. Oddly, they were in the same fraternity as one of my best friends from high school.
Oh, wow.
Just bizarre coincidence, because they're from St. Louis and he's from Sable, Long Island. Darren Green. And so they go to Michigan, which is a pretty privileged school, very high tuition. Lot of heavy hitters come out of that school. I didn't realize, and I'm not talking about John Hine. So they were part of the entertainment committee, and the job they had to do is you had to pick up the entertainment from the airport. So this is Dennis Miller just off Saturday Night Live. He was about to get that syndicated talk show that lasted 6 months. He's the comedian Michigan has this particular week to perform there. Their job is to pick him up at the airport. The two of them go get him at whatever that Michigan Ann Arbor airport is. I don't know what's the closest thing to Ann Arbor. They go there. They go to the airport all nervous. You know, they're obviously like super fans of his at the time. They're running around the airport looking for his gate. They somehow get the wrong gate, and they get to him. They pick him up 10 minutes late. Yeah. They're two nervous kids running around the airport, can't figure out what the gate is. They get to him. They finally found him 10 minutes later. He screams at them in the airport. Like, you fucking have him 10 minutes late. Christ's sake, I got a life here, Cha-Cha. What are you doing to me? I'm going back. So he wants to go back home because they're 10 minutes late picking him up. He calls his agent. His agent, I guess, convinces him to not miss the paycheck or whatever, or maybe he thinks he's going to get paid anyway. He shoves one of them over luggage in the airport in anger that they're 10 minutes late. So there's this stack of luggage. He shoves one of them and they go tumbling over the luggage. Probably could both kick his ass, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and they're too nervous and starstruck to do anything. And they just sat there and took it and then drove him back to Michigan to do his stupid show, which he probably repeats the fucking Off-White album like verbatim. And then with his hat down, like I saw at Westbury Music Fair.
Right. And yeah, I would love to see him confronted about that story in an interview. It's like
they need to bring it up all the time. They need to
totally.
Yeah. So
And the
here
bordello
is
of blood.
Greg Fitzsimmons talking to the Sklar Brothers about his relationship with Howard and his father.
And now
is miraculous.
Well, Jay, we're sitting in front of microphones.
I know, we are. And like, I think about that time when you were on Howard Stern, like they were testing out who's going to be like the new Jackie, and you were on there, and I was like, to me,
wow, isn't it crazy? I didn't even realize he's got a Michigan sweatshirt on. I didn't even, it's always back to fucking Michigan. It's amazing how these guys, dry hump their fucking college. Right. Yeah, I know. It's like, I don't know if I can even think of
that must have been a full circle moment.
So it was worse, like Bob Hope. Remember he?
Yes.
Oh, of course, you were on the show.
Yes,
he was obsessed with the college All-Americans. I'm like, why does this 95-year-old care about the college football All-American?
For you, given the fact that your dad was
probably go into that
in
building.
New York to go in.
Well, the crazy thing is Howard used to shit on my dad in New York. That was his thing. He would shit on all the other announcers. So he used to. My father used to host the Jerry Lewis Telethon, and he was the New York host for it.
I didn't know that. All the times he's been, maybe he said it and I missed it. I didn't know that. You could probably find footage of it.
Yeah.
And so you go, you got to be some kind of a has-been to be hosting a telethon, and Fitzsimmons is washed up, and so he said all this horrible shit about my dad, and my mom hated him. My dad kind of got it; he knew what he was doing, but they had the same agent. They both had Don Buchwald as their agent.
Way.
Yeah, and Don Buchwald, my father was his first client.
Isn't that crazy? So you wonder, like Fitzsimmons here is like connecting the Buchwald dots. Like you go, like,
right?
Did anybody like who had Howard, Sirius and Howard 101 and Howard 100, like we're kind of going, why does Greg Fitzsimmons have a show?
Yeah, why is
every
he so
week
omnipresent on the show?
Yeah,
right, yeah.
Why him? I mean, he's a solid comedian and everything like that.
Yeah.
But why him? Like, what is that? All the people you could. He's a Buchwald client. I mean, it's just a little example of how that works there. But but his dad is Buchwald's first client. Isn't that crazy?
That is not. I didn't even know Fitzsimmons was a nepo baby of any kind. Like I didn't know.
He sort of is. I mean, he's a comedian, but his dad definitely opened doors for him. And I think with Howard, it did. And Howard is somewhat seminal in getting Fitzsimmons some gigs because people heard him on there a lot.
Right.
He's a weird guy. He's kind of a bon vivant. He makes a lot of friends in comedy, and he writes for a lot. He wrote for Ellen. He's the only one I know that is equally friends with, or not quite anymore, but there was a time when he's on equal planes with Rogan and Howard at the same time.
Right.
He was like roommates with Rogan, like in Massachusetts.
Oh, I didn't know that. God,
in their early stand-up days,
he's kind of everywhere. He needs to be to move.
He networks very well. Yeah, he's like almost too confident in a way.
Yeah.
One of these guys that's been sober for way too long too. Stopped drinking like in his early 20s, and I remember calling his show and go, "Come on, Greg, it's time to drink again. Stop. It's double the time. You don't have to prove anything. It's time to drink again. There's no reason you can't drink again. 24 is too young." I must have done that 5 times to him on his Howard 101 show. It was on midnight Monday night, like 9:00 your time, but midnight Eastern time.
Right.
And it was an hour, and he'd usually have a comedian sit in, and it was pretty good. It was like before there were podcasts. Like that's what a podcast was. Like he'd have a one-on-one chat with a comedian, but he'd take calls, and it was good. He had some good guests. He had guests Howard wouldn't have on. I remember a few people from the is that Mortal did a cameo on the Cheap Seats. Oh, okay.
From Mystery Science Theater.
Mystery Science Theater, yes. Thank you, Drink Savant.
My favorite show. That show was church in my house growing up.
I bet. Yeah. Davyd witnessed the shot heard round the world. I mean, how different is Mystery Science really from what we do with Jump Street and 90210 and Seinfeld?
I was trained properly to, if I'm at all good on those commentary shows, it's because of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
You are. You have a lot of great observations that because I'm so close to it sometimes. Right. How is the old Fitz dog interview? He's got, how old? How old is this? This is just like a couple weeks old, JJ Thrash. Is it Michigan where Jackie went to Michigan State Holden, where Magic Johnson went? That's right. Fitzsimmons is a crybaby, Holden. You're right. Detroit is actually the closest thing to Ann Arbor, says Housey. The only time I ever flown from Hartford to Detroit, the airport's bigger than my hometown. Thank you, Housey. Jackie went to Michigan State. Yes, Howard is a Nepo baby. He sort of is. Sarah says Fitzsimmons was. Arm, do you remember the college All-American wished Bob Hope a happy birthday? And all you could tell is 95% of those guys had no idea. I know who he was. I know.
That's great.
Oh, he's so right. He was big on the Sarah's right. He was on those VH1 shows. I love the 70s. And he would do, he was all over that shit. Sarah loves the 2000 VH1. She loves those reality shows, and she loves those like Behind the Music and all those shows. She loves that.
Osbourne's,
Sarah is the face of 2004 VH1. Davyd played the manager for Baby Jesus.
And the manger for Baby Jesus.
Manger, I'm sorry. And manager.
Yes.
Jackie's related to Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, my father was his first client. My father introduced Don to all the different station managers in New York. He got him started in radio, got him his first clients, all that stuff. So they were like
That's
this.
a crazy
And he
advantage
just
to
died,
have.
God bless him, 6 months ago.
Buchwald represented comedians too, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, so anyway, so when I was about to go on Stern, I was like, the first time I went on, I had won the Aspen Comedy Festival.
I knew who he was before he was on Howard because he hosted an MTV dating show.
Oh, did he?
It was something like Singled Out. Maybe it was. I forget that if it was Singled Out before fucking Chris Hardwick and Jenny McCarthy. But he hosted like a dating show on MTV.
Okay.
Briefly, very briefly. And I would see him on the stand-up circuit in New York. He was all over those like Dave Attell days, you know, like the early 90s. Like he was all over like the New York clubs.
I have
on
here,
their lineup.
He hosted a show called Idiot Savants, a game show.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. Who did it show who his co-host was, or was there a female?
For contestant.
I'm classic Gen X. Fucking reality bites slacker, like watching MTV all the time. Oh, I'm so right in the fucking wheelhouse of that. I am reality bites personified.
I'm just going to read this quick. So Idiot Savants is an American television game show on MTV network, which ran from December 9th, 1996 to April 25th, 1997. Hosted by comedian Greg Fitzsimmons. It doesn't say about another host.
Don't worry about it. It's not important.
Okay.
Some trophy.
Yeah.
And so they said, well, this guy's kind of on the radar now. Let's bring him in. So they invite me to come in, and I'm like, what the fuck? Am I being set up here?
Yeah.
So I'm going in on a Monday. I listened to the show on Friday, and he had the week off the week before. So
it's always a vacation. No matter, even then, this is like the early 2000s. Like, it's amazing. He took a ton of vacation then, and it's always on the heels of a vacation. You can't tell a story without that show. Yes, thank you, JJ Thrash. That age, that sweet spot. If you're born like in the 70s, like MTV was for me too, JJ Thrash. And you're such a music guy. It was the go-to channel when nothing was on. So those times of those dead zone parts of the day, it's always MTV would save your ass because there was nothing on except MTV had something. Whether it was a remote control replay or just videos or spring break or whatever, they always came through in those dead zones of the day.
Jerking off to Kennedy at 1:30 in the
afternoon. Kari Wurr or Ananda Lewis, who passed away, unfortunately. Really smoking hot, light-skinned black chick who was one of their DJs. Julie Brown, of course, downtown.
Yep.
And there's another Julie Brown.
That's right.
I was way too into those VH1 shows, says Howie's. Sarah has impeccable taste. I'd watch everything before school. MTV was everything. You're right. It doesn't get enough credit for how it shaped us. I feel like sometimes it doesn't get the credit it deserves for the time it occupied and the boredom that it quelled. And it's amazing. It's a great book on the MTV days. It came out probably 10 years ago now. And it's great how little the VJs got paid and what went on behind the scenes. Ken Ober died too. Tabitha Soren. Yep.
Tabitha Soren.
Playing reruns. On the rerun, It's him shitting on my father.
No way.
Oh my God.
Did they know that?
I'll never know, but I went in on Monday, and now I got my fist clenched. I'm ready.
Ready to fight.
I got plenty of shit to say to Stern. And he comes on and he goes, Greg, I just got to tell you something. Your father was one of the great guys in an industry where people are not well liked. Everybody loved your father. He goes, he taught me so much about how to he just went on. He did this love song with my dad.
Did you play that for your mom? Did she get to hear that?
She listened.
Okay.
She listened.
So then maybe that helped her.
She never got over it.
No.
Yeah, Irish broads, they never get over it. But then, and then
just like the woman boiling a potato, being like, I'm gonna fuck him up.
Yeah.
Just like the woman never got over your novel. But anyway.
Yeah. His mom is right because it's two-faced. Howard is clearly playing politics with Greg being on the show.
You saw right through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't forgive it either.
That you don't turn tail like that. You suddenly become, that doesn't make any sense.
No,
you're doing it for the air, and now he's the greatest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Why
because
should
my son is
he?
on. Right.
He would never. If someone talked about him like that, and he would, if that was reversed, he would never get over it.
No.
Thank you, Bill DeLego. You're so right, Arm. In middle school summer break, I'd be watching. My day was, I know this is such a summer day. Like today, right? He's right. This is today. Like if I'm that middle school kid watching playing Nintendo or Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis, watching MTV, and then you'd pause it and then come back to it. Pause your game and like playing RBI baseball or you'd get a new game like once every 2 weeks. And then you'd play it into the ground. Not like today when you could have 60 games at the same time and never get bored. Right. That was every fucking. And then I'd get bored, go out, play basketball in the driveway, come back and do it all over again. Then watch cartoons in the afternoon, and hopefully someone's pool I could pee in. And that was every summer day. Oh, my Adam Curry over here. All right. Here is, God, you want to do Dee Snider?
What are our options?
In the fucking Dee Snider talking about his history with Howard because I found Stan Lee, Howard money shaming him, Meg Griffin versus Howard and Robin in the early 90s.
Let's do Dee Snider.
Dee Snider talking about what Howard's like off the air and the relationship and the dissolution of how they basically stop being friends. And actually, I want to start with the Howard complaining to Chauncey that Dee Snider is lying about his makeover. I found this when I went after the what the fuck was I looking for? What was I looking for, Davyd?
Dee Snider?
What was I looking for? No, I was looking for something. I was making a video for something, and I found the Dee Snider thing by accident. It was oh God, what was I doing? Why did I don't
remember? Yeah, if you told me before the show, I don't remember.
Oh, that's okay. It's my fault. I'm just blanking on.
Thank you, Chauncey.
By the way, Howard.
Yeah, by the way, Chauncey, this is a 20-minute phone call by Chauncey.
Wow, that's precious real
He's
estate.
On 20 minutes. He shits on Depp and Kate Hudson for their expatriate anti-American comments at the same time. And he stokes Howard's, badge bunny, stolen valor, chicken hawk, 9/11 side at the time. And they turned out to be right. Iraq is the wrong place to invade.
Right,
they were right.
Was this before Depp did his interview?
No, after it. It's Dad. We got to get Chauncey on and make him qualify this because it's he fucking backstabs him. It's 3 years after 4 years after his interview with Depp which is for Sleepy Hollow, which came out in 1999.
Thank you, Chauncey.
By the way, Howard.
Yes.
It's kind of funny. You look younger now than you did in that clip from NBC last night.
He will jump out of his skin. He will out cringe himself when he hears himself saying this. And I know, Chauncey, you can't really damage him. I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you I'm so embarrassed.
I feel like even before I interacted with Chauncey before I was even sort of in the universe where I knew you. When I would just listen to clips of Chauncey, even if he was kind of kissing Howard's ass, it was always in kind of a King of All Blacks way, where it's like, oh, he's trolling Howard. Like,
I never the haymaker. Yeah, it was. He had a strategy going in there. I'm gonna butter him up with this, and then I'm gonna ask him a hard hitting personal question.
Yeah, it's
after this,
the
very
Barbara Walters method of interviewing people, right?
Missing in Action. By the way, Missing in Action, I enjoyed your comment on Rod Strickland, a gentleman we both love. My friend Jim Verdone said to me, and it should have come from me, but it came from Jim Verdone. He said that Rod Strickland looks like a black Johnny Depp, that he actually has the same facial features and facial hair as Depp. And I think it was the greatest thing I've ever heard. And I can't stop thinking about that when I see Strickland now. One of my favorite point guards of all time. And I will continue to post NBA Classic short videos of Rod Strickland on not Portland, San Antonio, Washington, in addition to the Knicks. His best seasons were actually with Sarah's Trailblazers. MTV was where I heard of all the new music. Exactly, Housey. Whitesnake, Bon Jovi, Flock of Seagulls. It didn't matter. And, of course, Hall & Oates. Agreed. Greg Fitzsimmons, in fact, did open for Carnegie Artie at Carnegie Hall. And I heard he was better than Artie. He had a better set. He was actually the most impressive one. That's what I heard from the people who went there.
Artie is a brilliant bullshitting conversationalist sidekick. He's the best. He's so funny in that capacity. As a stand-up, it's almost like he's trying to use the charisma as like the well-liked sidekick to...
I think he should just riff with the audience. I don't even think he should do material. I think he should just go up there and take questions. Yeah, just do crowd work. Just take questions and fuck around. I don't need you to do material. I don't want to hear it. I've heard the same jokes a million times. I love you. Just go up there and riff. I don't want to hear the material. I don't give a shit.
The thing you always point out about stand-up, where it's like, can you imagine doing the same beats and laughing at yourself every fucking night?
And not just once a night, Davyd. Sometimes 21 times a week.
Right.
So you're doing 3 sets. I remember seeing Davyd Tell at the Comedy Cellar. And he'd do 3 sets of the same material, and it's great. And as comedian, as beloved Davyd Tell is, I just sat there and I go, how do you do this why do you need to do this every night? The same set. Why? What do you get out of this?
I think because we know as the audience how quick Artie is in the moment at coming up with something brilliant, to see him do like a pre-digested set of jokes and stuff, it's like, wait, that's not Artie. That's not we're not this dumb to think that you didn't just think that this isn't already pre-written, so I'm sure Fitzsimmons probably is a better stand-up just because his persona is not his in the moment persona isn't based on coming up with one. I don't know. It's
the only way. The only way I'll defend the comedians that you have a canned product that you can't. Right. They're not going to, unless you're super famous, unless you're super made man. You can't go in there with, oh, I'm just going to riff off the audience. I don't give a fuck. They want to know that you have some canned product. I don't agree with it. I don't give a shit. Personally, it's my own proclivities. Right. Yeah. But the owners are so terrified that the humanoids won't tune in, that they need you to have canned material.
Right.
Snyder's a cool dude. Stern hated his morning would compete with Stern's show. That's right, Holden. He's a very cool dude. I met him actually 3 times on Long Island. One time, we're talking about Dee Snider.
Yeah.
We're not talking about Tom Snyder. He spelt it like Tom Snyder. Yeah. Who you met many times. You started 50s, with Tom Snyder. Yeah.
Exactly.
Dee Snider was walking in to he was leaving Costco with his wife, loading up his car with, my word was way different than his. And I talked to him about Howard, and he was very nice, but dodgy. He wouldn't give me, I was drilling him about the falling out. I was by myself. And I'm like, but I don't get it, Dee, but I don't get it. But he's like trying to load the car at the same time with his wife. He's like, I gotta go. He was like, dude, great talking to you, but I gotta go. Like I talked about his Hartford show. I tried to ask him like where he got it. And I'm like, but I don't get it. Like, but why? But why doesn't he? What is his problem? I don't get it. And his wife like runs to the passenger seat, and he's like, dude, I gotta go. I'm like, all right, dude,
honey,
you're talking.
yeah. His wife is like, honey, I need help with these Kirkland water bottles. Hurry, you need to come help me.
I'm like, Dee, can I have your cart? I don't want to pay the quarter to get the this Costco shopping cart. And I was gonna help him load the stuff in his car. And I'm like, should I help him with that? He had like a crate of bottled water. I'm like, should I help him with that? Or, and then the second time I saw him, he was walking out of Toys R Us this is all like Lake Grove, Long Island. He lives in Setauket. So it makes geographical sense that he was there, and he's walking out of Toys R Us, and I'm walking into Toys R Us with my nephew to buy him an action figure. And then I go, I said to my nephew, I'm like, Steven, I want you to scream at this guy, Dee, I love Strangeland. It's my favorite movie. So he passes him, and he's walking to his car. My nephew turns, goes, Dee. He's like, yeah. He goes, I love Strangeland. It's my favorite movie. He's like, hey, thanks, man. That's great. He directed, it's like a horror movie that he directed called Strangeland.
Yeah.
Rock on. He said some shit like that. And then the third time I saw him, I'm driving down Nichols Road. Again, it's like just before Centereach. And he's doing one of those biker charity rides with a bunch of fucking biker guys.
Yeah.
And it's in the morning, and on my way to to umpire a doubleheader in Mount Sinai.
Okay.
And I see Dee pulls up next to me, about to pass me. I beep the horn, and I give him a fake punch. And I swerve, and he just laughs, and he just like moves on with this. There was about, I don't know, 30 of them.
Incredible.
On some charity ride.
I like Dee Snider. I mean, he seems like
he's a really good guy.
I don't know how it's possible.
What clip?
The pop icon.
Oh, is that from NBC?
VH1, yeah.
Yes.
Incredible.
Well, I'll tell you why. I wasn't taking care of myself back then.
Do you know who takes credit for your transformation?
Please.
Dee Snider.
Oh, please. Dee Snider.
So they must have used Dee Snider in this Howard spotlight, that Howard didn't participate in. So they must have like interviewed people, and he agreed to do it. And I don't remember this thing. It's called Icons. I guess this is.
Oh,
and I watched everything that was Howard related. Then everything. I don't know how I missed it.
There was it's an MTV show, MTV Icons.
It could have been Network.
Chauncey just said it was, so MTV Icon is a series of annual television specials produced by MTV between 2001 and 2004, each paying homage to, but this is different because it's paying homage to a musical artist or band as a selected.
You got to remember too, Howard's MTV is owned by the same parent company that owns, and his show is the most important radio show, so he gets whatever he wants from MTV.
Okay, so they may not. What year is this?
04, 03.
Okay.
03.
I'm looking for. Okay. Keep playing. I thought I could tie it into something.
Already had to work and probably didn't have time to write new material compared to the other comedians. That's true, Telly. That's true.
Yeah.
He was super nice. He said he was great on Stern, and that was a long time ago. Yeah, everybody loves Dee Snider. He's nothing but good experiences with him in public. He's a really nice guy.
I agree with Housey Football here.
Well, about Artie, yeah. Some guys are just funnier off the cuff instead of riffing and writing jokes. And I don't mind him. I think he did great at some of the roasts, actually. I thought he did really good. Some of my favorite jokes come from him, without question.
I think when there's a purpose for the jokes and it's not just, I don't know, there's something about a stand-up that just didn't ever grab me, but brilliant roaster. I don't know.
He's going to go into that hole then about Hartford competition. A few years ago, Rupert Pumpkin says, I found an interview with Dee Snider apologizing for something that ended his relationship with Howard. That's kind of what we're going to get into here, Rupert. I think it's in here. It's not long in the sense that he details exactly what happened. There was a podcast he did on his own show. He did a podcast pretty early on in the game before everybody had one. And the particular one he did spent the entire show talking about his relationship with Howard. I think it was like a 2-hour commentary, and I just went and got the best moments I could find.
That's his big thing now. Whenever you do an interview with Dee Snider, By the way, I'm the one that changed Howard Stern. I don't get credit for it, but I'm the one.
Just when did you do that?
Well, no, I was on Letterman once, and that's where I first met Dee.
Yes.
And Dee came up to me and he goes, "Gee, you look different than what I thought you would look like. You know, I thought you'd have long hair." I said, "You know, it's funny, Dee." I said, "I've had long hair my entire life. I cut it when I got into radio because it was the only way to get a job." I said, "I think I might start growing my hair long again."
So that's how he transformed you?
He told you to grow your hair long.
No, that's exactly what happened. And I thought about it, and I said, you know, I do like long hair. I think I'll grow my hair long again. Because I can now, you know. I was like, I can do it. I'm pretty well established on radio.
But just growing your hair didn't make you who you are.
I don't think so.
He also seems to have taken you shopping and bought you a new wardrobe.
That's a lie.
Really?
That's an absolute lie. His wife used to cut my hair for a while, but that was after I grew it long.
And Dee and I made an outfit for you or something. But
yes.
Dee didn't sew a darn thing.
No, and also, but Dee and I used to hang out together, and we'd gone down shopping and stuff. We'd be somewhere and we'd look in a window. One time we were out. I'm very honest. I'm not saying that I hadn't had that discussion with him. One time we were out. I remember buying a ring. I go, "Hey Dee, what do you think's a cool ring over here?" I mean, if that's creating a look for me, then so be it. But and you know what? Who even cares? Why would you want to take credit for the way I look? I mean, honestly, take a look at me.
He's backtracking.
Okay, I remember now why I found this. Because on Wednesday, I did that members only show, and I did a ton on the Kobe Bryant sexual assault rape thing. And so that all went down this week, the conversation from it. And so as I'm looking for all that dialogue throughout that week, I see this Dee Snider thing, and I'm like, oh, shit. Wow, there's him lying again about this. And I couldn't help but get it for this. So that's how I love.
There's always a breaking point in Howard's stories where he's like, no, that never happened. That never happened. Well, even if it did happen, why would he want to take credit for, there's
why
always
would
a
you
breaking
want to take
point.
credit for it?
Right.
Who and how surly, as soon as Dee's name comes up too, he's so surly. He's like, oh, Dee, oh, fuck.
Yeah, he's like,
and now he's beneath him. Now this is the point where he thinks he's beneath him. This is when he stopped. This is 2003. He is Hampton's Howie, and now the likes of Dee Snider is not going to enhance his celebrity, so he's now beneath him. And
I'm
the
not going to be friends with
do,
washed up rocker. Right?
Yes, the last thing he can do is admit to that Dee Snider is responsible for anything I have. Let me just play this on.
It's not like he turned you into Bon Jovi.
Yeah, he didn't turn me into anything so great.
Robin, where exactly is the place where you can get turned into Bon Jovi?
The reason I look better now is because I'll credit a couple of people.
Okay, this is interesting. I'm just going to let this is the last thing on this. It's a little long. He brings up a name. He brings up a dietitian that he had. I've never heard this name before. And all the times we try to look for clues into these fucking weird in his life, he brings Ralph up as if Ralph is doing anything that anyone is impressed with. But then he brings up a dietitian. I have never heard this name. So see if you can remember this name or if you've heard
credit a couple of people. Ralph, Pat Manocchia, the guy who trains me.
Not him.
The fact that I watch what I eat now. I mean, come on. That's what did it.
No, you're
okay, everyone. Thank you, Howsey. So Dee still hosts a show called House of Hair at 10 p.m. Friday nights out of Poughkeepsie. Does he take phone calls, Howsey? 7 o'clock your time, Davyd. It's obviously it's streams.
I would call in. Yeah.
House of Hair, 10 p.m. Friday nights out of Poughkeepsie, New York. I thought I heard Dee Snider moved to Mexico. Or am I thinking of Jesse? Dee moved somewhere off the radar. Like he was broke. I don't know. It's tough to follow and track, but his wife is Suzette. That's right. And that was her. I knew she's a typical like Long Island Guidette looking broad. And she looked exactly like that in the Costco parking lot. I remember I came out with a Costco pizza too, which was great. I was holding it while I talked to him.
So you couldn't help with the water bottles.
How do you leave that place and not get a $9.99 pepperoni or everything pie. How do you leave that place without doing
best
that?
Pizza. Yeah.
Costa Rica. Thank you, Holden.
Nutritionist Ellie?
Ellie?
You're a
Watching
nutritionist?
Ellie.
What did it?
No, you're a nutritionist Ellie?
Ellie?
It sounds like Howard didn't want that brought up. So he has a nutritionist. Ellie? E-L-L-I-E or Allie? Ellie?
I think it's Ellie. Hang on, I'm seeing if I
See
can
if anything comes up. Howard's nutritionist, Ellie.
Ellie?
And you would never get plastic surgery as you get older.
Yeah, Chauncey asked him about
I
plastic.
don't think so, but geez, sometimes I look in the mirror and I look at these laugh
Don't
lines.
say you're not going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say never. I mean, I would do something if they could make me look better.
He's already had it done. So John, at this time, Stuttering John comes in and says, John tells a story all the time. Did you have a fucking nose job? John would constantly come back after a vacation. I guess John knew something and was on to him. He was like, did you have liposuction? Did you have a nose job? And he would deny it, but he knew he had it done. And this is him trying to lean into, he's trying to Wigger is flying too close to the sun.
I found Ellie, by the way.
Oh shit, give it to me.
Okay, hang on. Her name is Elle Russ. It's spelled E-L-L-E. And she is a very blonde. She has a very sort of
You look like Beth.
Getting things done. Yeah, I mean,
crazy eyes.
Kind of crazy eyes. Yeah, actually, I will say. Hang on, I'm trying to find like a concise article about her.
I bet you Ellie and Tatu is an expert on blueberries and almonds. I bet you she's what got him into fucking hot water and lemon, which is not for his voice. It is an appetite. It is for anorexic.
Yeah,
to have an appetite suppressant.
So Elle Russ is the #1 best-selling author of the Paleo-Thyroid Solution and Confident as fuck, the screenwriter of the award-winning documentary film Headhunt Revisited, and a television comedy creator and writer with multiple original scripted projects. Ellie has been hang on, I want to find the Howard Stern related stuff.
Ellie, R-U-S? Is there
R-U-S-S.
R-U-S-S. And L-E-L-L-E.
E-L-L-E, and then Russ, R-U-S-S.
Like Elle McPherson.
Right, but pronounce it.
But okay, so Elle, I got it.
The reason I clicked on her is it said, you are likely thinking of Elle Russ, a best-selling author and health coach who has consulted with Howard Stern. Ellie is primarily known in the health space as a thyroid expert, confidence coach, and author of the Paleo-Thyroid Solution. So she's another griftery,
Isn't she looks like Pam Anderson and Beth had a kid?
Yes.
When I look at the pictures of her. Hold on a second. Yeah, she has crazy eyes, of course. Here's Ellie Russ. Only he would have this level of, right? Look at this. So this is his nutritionist.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like Beth and Pam Anderson and a kid. Crazy eyes, the whole thing. It's exactly who you think she'd be. The thyroid, isn't thyroids have something to do with weight loss and weight gain? It's like a total fucking.
Yeah, I mean it's
There's no way she's not part of his world still.
I'm sure she is. I mean, it looks like she's more like public than before.
Yeah, don't sweat the sweat. It's all about weight loss, of course. This is what an anorexic would flock to, without question. You weren't meant to be average. Tell me what's average, Ellie. I don't even find her attractive. She looks like very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
She looks like a Fox News chick.
She does.
The crazy eyes and everything's very generic.
But I think the thyroid has something to do with metabolism. So
yeah,
I'm sure
it's all weight loss. And it's all he cares about.
You know what I'm afraid of? I see these people who get the plastic surgery. They never look the same.
You don't want to look like somebody else.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
Yeah, Telly's right. Unfortunately, they don't make the everything pie anymore, Costco. It's really just pepperoni, I think. I don't even think they have sausage anymore. Bon Jovi is another guy Howard glommed onto. That's right, and refuses to give any credit to. That's exactly right, Housie. Dee, forget Howard had a power of a 5-day work week radio show. That's right. That's right, Rupert. She's a Beth bot, says Tata Toothy. She actually looks like Dee Snider too. So if you look at Dee here, she's if there was a group sex child from Beth, Pam Anderson, and
she looks like Dee's wife too. She looks like Suzette.
She should be
bit.
right.
Yeah.
What a yenta.
I looked at Greta Van Susteren. I was watching her show.
She looks like another woman.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't even know if that's bad. It's just she just doesn't look like Greta Van Susteren.
Yeah, Will, that's a great. Will Elle Russ testify for Leslie Kuhn? Was she burned by Howard in some way? Will she test? That's funny. That could be. She's a Philly 5, says Holden. Overactive thyroid, drive-through addiction, says Johnny. There he is. There's Johnny Myers, Davyd.
Johnny Meyer, thank you for the they forwarded me the cello for the spots.
They meaning the blacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, so I'm sorry I didn't reach out to you directly, but thank you for that. I was traveling a lot when I got those, so I think I missed the deadlines for them. But always appreciate you thinking of me. It's very.
You know what happens when he doesn't take it? I take the gig and I play the cello instead of Davyd.
Exactly.
I grab it. Well, the skin fluid at least. What's up, Kick? Am I right? Good to see you. Hey, Arm. Do you know what plan the next Leslie Kuhn show? I'm waiting for something new in the transcripts, in the court documents. I'm not seeing anything new yet, Tendrils. I'm seeing a lot of redundant repeat of the same NDA things. I went through 15 of them last night, and it was all redundant material. So I'm just waiting for something new to drop. Doesn't mean that's the only reason you could come on. I have one of them recorded, and it's not that innovative. It's not that. So I'm just waiting for something new. He filed something. John Leonard, the lawyer, filed something 2 days ago, and it was kind of just like a general redundant thing back. So she's very flat. She's very Howard's type. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally.
Shocking.
I'm not sure who that is.
Yeah, but I don't know that I would never get a procedure done. I've often fantasized about nose jobs and all kinds of stuff, but
no, your nose is your identity. You don't want to touch that.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that.
Why does your nose have to be your identity?
Yeah, why do I need that to be my identity?
You made it into $1 billion industry.
Oh, get out of here! Because of my nose? Are you insane? It's because of my mouth.
That's part of your persona.
That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It's not the dumbest thing he's ever heard. I've never seen someone on the radio as looks obsessed as he is. His entire brand is his fucking hair and boner nose. He's exactly right. All you think about is vanity, and you're on the radio. Chauncey is exactly right.
Well, and it's also like a comedian who made the bulk of their money from being sort of relatable in terms of not being good looking, you know?
Yeah.
So
reason,
like
how,
Roseanne Barr looks like every mom that I grew up with in some ways, you know, when she was on her show and she's overweight, and then, you know, she gets gastric bypass surgery halfway through the show and she looks like, you know, not like a supermodel or anything, but just sort of like, oh, you look really glammed up, you know, and this is not sort of my investment of you. Yeah, right. I wanted you as a believable, relatable person.
Here's something from Johnny Meyer, Davyd. Again, he forwards this. He writes, come on. Casting networks alert for Norwegian cruise line dancer audition. $800 a week. Are there any Norwegian cruise line dancers out there? I mean, can you fake it? I think I'm athletic enough to do any dance that exists. I hate dancing, but I can do it in a situation.
Well, line dancing is barely dancing. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Strong athletic dancer who showcase technique and finesse while moving from style to style. Major training emphasis. Commercial jazz, ballet, contemporary, and hip-hop style is a must.
Well,
he's talking to you, Davyd.
I think he's talking to Camilla. Is who he's talking to.
That could very well be. Could you imagine this
cartoon cat? Yeah,
right. Doing it. I mean, incredible. Where is Camilla in here? Why am I okay? Where's this cartoon cat?
Where is she?
Come on.
We got a from whenever the Camilla Cam was on the last show and
or hissing at
Sarah's mom's
her mom's dog. That was great. What an intimidating cat.
That was insane. Yeah, that was great.
I'm still traumatized by that. Boner nose. Scott's Arn, please consider at least auditioning. I'm gonna consider it. I swear to you, Johnny. I just I'm gonna win, and then just to say that I won, and then give it to someone.
Italian, Polish versus Norwegian. I bet you could pull it off.
I'll do my NBA post-up and under dance, my fadeaway jump shot dance. The cartoon character of Howard draws himself as the prominent nose. Right. When a caricature is drawn of Howard, like Kevin Nealon did, it's always emphasizing those things.
Right.
I've had a vision of Arm on a cruise ship with Kathy Lee Gifford. Ain't we got fun?
For some reason, Howard stops talking to me again, and I don't know why. And he can't have me on the air, but he's still playing my best ofs on his show while I'm on the air in his market in Hartford. And then in Richmond, Virginia, I was on in Richmond where he got kicked out of, but I'm on in Richmond, Virginia, the #1 show in Richmond. So cut to years later when I'm off the air in Hartford and Richmond, Bubba the Love Sponge comes in, and Howard goes over to Sirius and decides that I'm going to be on Sirius Radio. He comes clean one.
So Dee had a show on, I don't know what's called, Fangoria Radio. And it was basically, I remember listening to it, and I think it was on before Howard's show was. It was on Saturday night for like 2 hours, and he just talked about horror movies. And it was like Fangoria Radio with Dee Snider. It was on Saturday nights. He does sound like Penn Jillette, Tata Toothy.
Day on the show and talks about him being mad at me and why he's been mad at me. Now, I have no idea because he's not returning my phone calls. Well, he says on the show that is because I did the radio in Hartford, in his market. Robin, who knows the whole situation, she goes, but didn't he call and ask your permission? And I said, yes, he did. And didn't you give it to him? Yes, I did. Didn't he offer you 10% of his income? Yes, he did. And you said no. Yes, I did. He goes, then why should he not do the show, and why should you be mad at him? He goes, well, he should have just known better. Yeah. Well, everybody on the show, I mean, Fred and then it's Artie. Artie.
Did I show you that tweet? He retweeted it and everything. I tweeted Dee Snider like a year ago that Fred Norris, I quoted Dee, I made up a quote that I said, and I made it that he said it, and he just went along with it. Like, I must have said that on the show. I go, Dee, I just listened to an old, with you and Richard Grieco, an interview that you sat in with Richard Grieco. I love what you said about Fred's band, King Norris. They're the New Balance of rock and roll. They're the New Balance sneakers of rock and roll. They're so mediocre.
Right.
And then he writes a laughing emoji and then retweeted it.
Oh, I love how you're like, you're unwittingly coming into Dee Snider's life from all angles, and he probably never remembers.
I know. He doesn't.
He was one of the biggest voices of, thank you, Artie, one of the biggest voices of reason, because he couldn't.
Yeah, Rupert Pumpkin's right. Like, this is translation. Give Howard money for anything that you do. Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want? Do you want me to sign over my salary to you? What do you want?
I didn't ask you to pause it there because I was like trying to mull it over. Like, wait, 10%? Like, Howard's not an agent for Dee Snider.
No one should be allowed to do anything in show business without his approval or his money. Like, you can't work in radio. You can't do it. You can't. All of radio should just shut down. Nobody should ever take a job unless he gets the money for it or approves of it. That's what he's saying.
Because he's basically saying, like, you need to pay the Howard won't be grumpy at you tax if you want to do your radio show.
And it's so, and now he's the owner of Sirius too. He's a part owner and partner, and he's gonna take his show off as soon as he can.
Understand? He said, I can't see where this guy has done anything wrong to you, and yet you've.
Okay, so Housey says the House of Hair does not take calls, but he does take letters an email request. I believe it is syndicated. Johnny Meyer says Dee should have said nothing and just told Howard he can work it all out on the air. We'll work it out on the air. He does come on eventually in 06 and they have or 07 or something, and they have a conversation about it. It's very fake because Howard reneges on it right after.
Right. Spurned him and cast him out. And Howard admits, well, I'm fucked up and I've got these mental problems and so now I'm back again. And now he's divorced from Allison. He's hanging out with celebrities. He's dating supermodels. He's partying. One of the things we got along with, we didn't get high. Neither of us partied. Neither of us got high. We were married dudes. Now he's living a single lifestyle. And I'm still married, dude. I'm still going home. We're not the same people anymore. It's understandable. So Howard gets married. Is getting married. And on one of the episodes, Robin asks Howard why he didn't invite me and Suzette to the wedding.
Wow.
And Howard...
I don't remember... I'm going to have to go back and listen to that whole... Because I remember exactly when if Robin said that, and I'm going to have to clip that because obviously he is 100% transparent and Howard's a serial liar, so who do you believe in these situations?
Can you go back to Rupert Pupkin's comment about Johnny Carson? Didn't Johnny Carson ban Joan Rivers from ever guest hosting again because she got her Fox talk show?
He did, but he also had Gary Sandling fill in, who's a major threat. I only watched when Gary Sandling hosted.
Right. No, and I'm not saying
David Brenner.
Right. I'm thinking of examples where Johnny Carson
he did do that.
care.
He's both. So he did both.
Had their show. Yeah.
But it's weird. Carson would Jay Leno, obviously. So he would let his fucking buddy, his butt buddy Kimmel is letting people for him now. He had
Rosie
Tiffany
O'Donnell's
Haddish
guest
is hosting for Kimmel this week. So that's a lesson. And not only you have the show, you have 2 channels, and you refuse to have live radio, and you are getting all the money, and it's insane. He gets away with that, and no one's ever gonna make. Everyone's better than you. It's amazing when you go on the rubes on Reddit and people go, well, I know the show's not what it used to be, but find me so. Everything is better than his show now.
Yeah, everything.
Go to any iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, anything. Go to any show, and they are more passionate. They are more knowledgeable. Every show is better than his now. Yeah. Every syndicated radio show, every sports radio show, his show has gone from first to worst. It is the most precipitous decline ever. Every show is better. If you can't find something better than his show, you are functionally retarded. I feel sorry. You have the lowest IQ on the face. If you are, I feel sorry for you in ways that I can't even explain. If you can't find something better than his show, anywhere you look.
There are other, and people who are Howard's age, there's people Howard's age who do better shows than him. So I never understand well, I like Howard because I grew, he's my age and I grew up listening to the show and all this stuff. There's other people your age who have much more entertaining shows that can reference your childhood and your proclivities.
Yes.
And so why not tune into that? I do not understand how he could retain any listenership whatsoever,
He hung up on her when Carson hung up on Joan Rivers when she called him to tell her about the Fox show. And that's the early days of
And she never
Jump Street started. Yeah, 87. Joan Rivers never told Carson about the Fox show. She was a guest on Tonight Show 2 weeks before. She announced her new show, and everyone was mad. Not just Carson. Everyone was mad.
Yeah. Well,
Carson would never have Stern on as well. After I don't think he knew who he was. I don't think Johnny Carson knew who he was.
Yeah, I don't either.
I honestly don't think he cared.
The closest that Howard's World ever penetrated Carson was when Sam Kinison was on, I think,
By the time Howard was syndicated in L.A., Carson gave his show to Leno.
Right.
Or Leno took over his show. I think Howard's first year in L.A. was 90. 92 or something. Yeah. So why would Carson know who he was?
Yeah, Carson was off the air in May of 92, so there was very little crossover, if any.
Goes, and now on the air, now this is the passive-aggressive Howard, because Howard could say this on a phone to me. He goes, I feel really bad about it. I didn't have enough room on the list, and, and I want to invite him. He goes, well, why don't you call him and tell him that? Well, I just feel guilty. He says, you can invite him now. It seems last minute, and now it's sort of an afterthought, and now it's insulting. So this is everything he wants to say to me. He's saying on the air, knowing full well I'm going to hear about it. And you know what? We didn't know his wife. We only met her once, Suzette and I. When in any divorce, people you've been friends with.
He's talking about Beth, not Allison.
Right.
The problem is they're friends with Allison. That's probably the issue.
That could be it.
He's trying to erase Allison's history entirely, and they're linked to it almost exclusively.
Well, but that's the case, I think, with anyone who is pre-Beth, and including his children. It's sort of like, I think the paper thin commitment to his children that he has demonstrated all these years is because, they're he associates them with the woman who is, in his mind, bleeding him dry financially,
Yep. Yeah, if Carson knew Howard, it's because he did Letterman a lot, and Carson might have seen him on that. That's possible. Yeah, I don't know how much Carson watched Letterman. If he didn't give a shit.
Carson was a living legend by the time Letterman had a show going, and so it's like, Carson could just concern himself with the comics and actors of his generation that he's going to go to dinner with right after the show. He doesn't have to be that concerned with new talent that doesn't come through the proper channels of, his scouts seeing them at the Comedy Store or something.
Joan Rivers did call Carson after the press conference. She was blindsided. She should have told him she was on the show promoting her book 2 weeks earlier. I mean, Joan's gonna Joan for herself. Joan's always gonna look out for Joan.
Yeah, I also think I don't know.
She's aging, female comedian. She's gonna take whatever the fuck is thrown. She is not gonna turn anything down because of Carson. She's like, this is never gonna happen again. I'm taking this shit. Wow, Carson's not a good person to fight with. Either is Joan. Joan's a witch too. Joan's a heifer witch as well.
I don't like any of the people in
this Garofalo
scenario. Yeah, exactly.
Couples and they get divorced, it's always awkward because we were friends with Allison too. So Suzette had this sense of loyalty to Allison that she felt guilty hanging out with Howard's, new girlfriend at that time, Beth. So we didn't think make a big deal about it. And this point is inviting all these celebs and stuff like that. And I'm not back on top yet. I get interviewed for a local magazine by a guy named Chaunce.
It brings him. So he remembers Chauncey, and it's great. I don't think Chauncey's heard this, by the way. I'm 100% sure he's never heard of this.
Chauncey is the Zelig of today's Lotus Notes. Yeah.
Damn. He's such an imp. Husband, Joan Rivers' husband unalived himself in a Philly hotel room. Carson would never have cared. He knew Joan was only good 1 week at a time. He never felt threatened by anyone else. No, I wouldn't think he would. There was no disputing. I'm amazed he wasn't threatened by Gary Shandling, who I only watched the Tonight Show when Gary Shandling hosted it. I swear to God, because I loved his Fox show so much, and I loved his stand-up.
For a local magazine.
Yeah, Joan said Elizabeth Taylor's body type is right. She's the ultimate fat shamer, Joan. She's really nasty.
I'm not trying to defend Joan here because I don't really like her either. I think that the idea that Johnny Carson can have Dick Cavett on his show. He can have, David Letterman on. He could, he's fine with that. I mean, if it's that the order of operations was she had a show and didn't tell him in advance, I don't know why she owed him, because she was a permanent guest host. Is that why? I don't know.
how dare, the compete clause, like you're taking this thing, you're going to try to take my listeners. Are like, no one's allowed to compete with him. I mean, you know how flimsy the networks were back then and how few little competition there was. It was like, who didn't watch that? Like all those baby boomers had the same point of reference. Like it's the only thing that was on. Of course you're watching. Of course you're a fan.
And also a common joke, especially in the 80s, was like on all these sitcoms that you see, it's like, oh, guess who's hosting the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson? It's Johnny Carson, because he was taking so much time off too. Like toward the end there, he was taking a lot of guest
Not that I
days.
feel sorry, for these, but I do understand the grind of, anything that's 5 to you get sick of yourself. I mean, you really get sick of it. You really are just like, what else can I do with this anymore? I do think you burn out on that 5-night-a-week thing. It's like, I don't. You at a certain point, you're just like, there's nothing more I can squeeze from this bar rag anymore. I'm either going to retire or just dwindle down to. That is not the case with Howard. He had so much, and it sounds like I'm defending his. No, his thing was, I'm going to take all the money I can get. I'm going to make like a bad politician, move into Sirius, and I'm going to take your money. And once I get it and get my bonuses, I'm going to take as much days off as possible. But I'm not going to have people fill in for me. I'm not going to program the channels. I'm going to have it where I'm not threatened, because I know everybody's going to pass me by like I'm standing still. So I'm going to make it where nobody can work. If anybody's a threat to me, they're going to get fired because I'm an owner. But I'm going to do it behind the scenes, because I told Sirius that I don't want to be known. I don't want people after me. I want to fire them behind the scenes because I'm threatened by any and everybody. And I'll have, middle management guys be the hatchet man while I play stupid, while I play innocent. Oh, I don't know. I have nothing to do with them getting fired.
Yeah, for sure.
Woody Allen. Yeah, that's right. Hosted in the 60s. Hey, now Joey Bishop was a big guest host. Carson was down to 2 nights a week. Johnny would want to go to Wimbledon every summer. Satoothi. Rupert says, to think Howard, after 15 years of K-Rock, would feel threatened by Dee Snider. I know. It's clinically insane and insecure. Yep. Monologue. I mean, this is the extent Howard would go. When David Lee Roth took over for him at K-Rock, when he was locked into Sirius, he was threatened by David Lee Roth. He was trying to shit on his show every day. Right. And David Lee Roth didn't do anything of the sort to rip him off. It was sort of like unlistenable and his own thing, but he didn't steal from him. He did his own thing, and he was clearly threatened by David Lee Roth. He wanted his show to suck so bad. It was the highest form of schadenfreude listen, and it didn't take much. Just leave him alone. Leave him alone. Let him. You quit. You went to Sirius. Let him do his show.
Yeah. There's only so much you can do with a morning radio format. If Howard's claiming David Lee Roth ripped off what I do on the show, it's like, what, having conversations? That's what that's what morning radio has to be by default. It's not a visual medium,
And it was nothing like Howard's show. It was a shit show, but it was nothing like Howard's show.
Right.
I listened to it a few times. Yeah, Drink Savant says, right, monologue, skit, interview, music, comedy, rinse, repeat. Sounds stressful.
Yeah, it sounds awful.
Yeah, it sounds awful. The 90-minute shows took a toll on him. If NBC didn't cut the show to an hour, he would quit. Dee is there's so many commercials, too. Dee is a real threat to Fart Man and his empire. Sarah says, I'm going to die of a heart attack at this age. You're so mean. You're a bully. You're killing me.
What is that?
You're killing me. No Opie and Anthony playing Emily's play or taking Deb's overdose. Carson drove himself from Malibu to NBC. Remember Holly Robinson said she passed him on the road once, or he passed her, going 102 miles an hour or something.
By a guy named Chauncey. Interview with Chauncey about something, and Howard comes up. Well, I sing Howard's praises as I'm doing right now, how much I love the guy, how much the guy's done for me, how much he's meant to my career, how much he's always been for me, how he's one of those few people who stood by me through thick and thin. And he asked me, well, are you bothered by the fact that you weren't invited to the wedding? Now, I will say that subconsciously now I realize that I was. It hurt me a little bit. I said on surface it didn't, but it must have. And I said these words as part of an extensive interview. I said, no, it's the same thing I said to you. No, we really don't know Beth, and we're friends with Allison, and it's a little weird. And besides, Howard's socializing with people now that he wouldn't have given the time of day to 20 years ago. Well, that was the headline. That was the big thing. And
Chauncey couldn't wait for Howard to see that. I mean, nothing makes Chauncey happier than starting this feud. I mean, he loves it.
Chauncey probably called up and said, your gullet is looking particularly attractive today, Howard. By the way, did you know that Dee Snider said this about you?
You sound like John Mulaney there, Davyd. Do that again. You sound just like John Mulaney.
Your gullet is particularly attractive today. That's my John Mulaney.
Yeah, that's good. That's exactly.
Howard, it comes out. This is a local paper, but the Howard fans online, they cheered me. Finally, somebody said it. Finally, and Howard sends me a terse email.
So Dee is saying that people like me are singing Dee's praise because he's finally calling Howard out for what he is and standing up to him. And we lived for quotes like that at the time. That's certainly what, the Stern Fan Network people at the time, that was like the big forum for that, where we were turning into haters by the day, My Rupert Pumpkin says, my radio is set to listen to David Lee Roth back then. His show was unlistenable, sure. It was like overhearing bits and pieces of someone discuss. It's like eavesdropping on a restaurant discussion. Yeah, it was like wild. Yeah, like plates spinning and crazy. Scatological. It's very true. Like no, and he would be in the middle of a conversation. He would play music in the middle of the conversation. He was just like the worst attention span. I mean, I felt that that David Lee Roth wanted to get fired from day one because he had I think he had a 4-year deal or at least a 2-year deal. That he wanted them to pay him out because he could not take the morning radio lifestyle. He hated it. I mean, his whole life was, getting up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, being this, he was a fucking EMT, he just, the last thing he wants to do is those hours. And I think he wanted to get fired from the day he started.
Tell me how fucked up I am for saying something like that. And you know what? It was wrong. Flat out wrong. I shouldn't have done it.
It would be good.
I shouldn't have said it.
I used to have Johnny Meyer. I used to have about 5 of them on a hard drive, and I've since lost them. I remember recording it because he was responding to how Howard used to goof on his show every day. He would punch down and Schadenfreude onto David Lee Roth's show, and he answered him back one day. Or the day that David Lee Roth, they announced they were firing him, it was a must listen. And I remember recording it, and I had that week's of shows, and I've since lost them. I don't know where you can find them anymore.
Yeah.
It's impossible. I know. They've just been all deleted. More like people who would, part of the free FM days, more like people who wouldn't give Howard the time.
Flat out wrong.
Right. Exactly.
I shouldn't have done it.
That's right.
I shouldn't have said it. Taken in context, I immediately pick up the phone to call him because emails for pussies. All right. I talk to him. He won't answer the phone. I send him emails. He won't answer.
This is where you need unlimited texting back then. That he would have been able to get out. Then he could see if he read it or not, that kind of thing. This is where cell phones would have been tremendous.
I got 10% of your texting plan, D. Okay. Don't forget it.
This Tamara Francois. She said, Tamara. I'm the biggest David Lee Roth radio fan on the face of the earth. And it wasn't wrong to say it. I never knew or understood why Howard wasn't with Dee Snider anymore. I'm loving. Thank you. Thank you. Say it again, Davyd. How do you pronounce it?
Tamara.
He won't answer the emails. He won't respond. And
like the Thundercats villain, Mumra.
Yeah, exactly.
Tamra.
Again, He's mad at you. He talks about you. He's not mad at you. It's like he's really mad at you. It's like you don't exist. And now I fall off the face of the earth. That's it. Like, he won't take the bait. He won't talk about me. Still playing me on Best Of. But
just like Artie.
That's it. And that was years ago. He's never spoken to me again. Some people may say, didn't I see you on America's Got Talent a couple of years ago? Yeah. I get a call. America's Got Talent wants me on the show. Want me to sing. We're not going to take it. Was one of the contestants. I think, well, this is Howard's show. He's reaching out to me. This is passive aggressive. You know, like, we won't talk about it, but I'm like, get there the day of the show. They quickly have me pull up at a back door, sneak me in, and they go, it's a surprise. And I said, what's a surprise? You being here. I said, who's the surprise for? Your friend. Howard? This is the thing with Howard. Because he doesn't tell anybody he's mad at you, everybody thinks we're still friends. They're still hearing me on Best Of. You people walk up to me on the street all the time. Nobody knows. We don't talk.
Oh, this is great. He basically ambushes Howard at America's Got Talent.
Right.
Because he doesn't have, fortunately, Howard doesn't have dominion over AGT in a way. Like, they're lucky he signed them, the deal with the devil he signed with them. They moved the show to New York, but he can't tell them what to do and who to cast, and he doesn't have any of that serious.
Yeah, exactly. He can't tell Heidi Klum to clear the hallways for him like he can at Sirius, right?
And they tried. I know that somebody was telling me that he was a nightmare he was trying to get people in his dressing room. He was trying to do the fucking police tape on the dress. He was trying to do the serious thing, and they wouldn't, and no one could go near, and they had ridiculous, and he was a total fucking pain in the ass. Diva, piece of shit to work with, made everybody's life a living hell.
I was listening to a thing about sort of what we were talking about a couple shows ago about how James Dolan has the facial recognition technology on Madison Square Garden. Howard wishes he had that level of security for Sirius or for his home or anywhere that he has to be.
He will take as much as you'll give him.
Right.
He would have it where he was carried into it with a velvet pillow into Sirius by 15 SEAL Team Sex Navy SEALs, and never the whole building would be shut down for an hour and a half as he did his show. He'll take anything they could give him. It also makes him feel more important. It also feeds his head. In addition to just being a ridiculous, elitist scumbag, he would feed his head even more. I'm more important. Look at the part. Like, nobody, that's how you know he's a partner. What partner is getting that treatment walking around that place?
My mortality is worth more protecting than other people's is,
Everybody, collectively.
Yeah. I should live forever. Everyone else should die before me. Yeah.
Oh, you remember? This is how it went. It went, ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Tamra, the ever living.
Years. So I'm like, oh my God, yeah, this is going to be a surprise, all right. Say, listen, we want you to sneak up behind Howard, tap him on the shoulder, and surprise him on the TV show.
Well, Heidi Klum is obviously, attractive in a very obvious way, but I actually like Mel B better than her. That Mel B is more my type. I swear to God, that British accent is a killer too.
I just remember on Artie's Quitter podcast, like, he was ranting about how it was in a time period where he was actually mad at Howard, and he was like, and Howard's on AGT with Heidi Nazi dickhead Klum,
That's right. Heidi Nazi dickhead Klum, like she's the Red Skull or something because she's from Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, his worth, I love a good Quitter now. Is more that it was proven when he ran and hid in his car. I know, that's the true Howard. Yeah. That really is him at Randall's Island hiding from his family and Allison while they get attacked by fans, and is the real guy left to his. Thank God Robin saw that.
I'm like, oh boy, which is exactly what I did. And what did Howard do? He's like, hey, big welcoming face. I go out on stage. I perform the show.
Phony. So Howard has to be confronted with him in person because he kind of ambushed him. So Howard gives him the phony thing.
Well, and we the other example of that is right. The other example of that is Artie visiting Robin in the hospital, and he runs into Howard.
Perfect comparison. Exactly.
Song. He's the first one standing ovation, sings my praises, cheering. I come off the stage. Howard's backstage. We see each other. We talk. We chat. Let's like old friends. Small talk this, small talk that.
This is what happened to Artie. Exactly.
We're walking away, and my manager goes, so it's finally fixed. You guys are together again? I said, oh, no, we're not. He goes, what do you mean? I go, not me, man. I goes, he would never confront me on this. I said, I know by the type of talk, it was small talk. It wasn't substantive. It wasn't, hey, man, give a call. There was no give a call. Let's get together. Let's have dinner with the girls. It was just, how are the kids? How's this? How's that? You look great. Blah, blah, blah. Gone. I said, I will never see him again. He said, I think you're wrong. Get back. Try calling him. No answer. Try emailing him. No answer. I never heard from him again.
Yeah, and Dee's right. It's that kind of small talk is the running out the clock talk before Howard is able to escape the conversation.
He's a pussy too. I mean, most of all, he's a pussy. He's never gonna. Just before I go to the next chapter of this bizarre, really phony, not phony from Dee's end.
No,
just
from Howard.
Phone from Howard's end. I feel sorry for Dee that he had to pump any kind of effort and thinking, God forbid. It's pretty traumatizing to think, Dee isn't a bros, this type of thing. Thinking someone's your friend like that and just realizing you've been duped and
and just with the history and it's
he's a user. I mean, you're only as good to him as what you can do for to boost his level of fame, and in this case, give him a persona. But I genuinely feel sorry for Dee that he was. It really doesn't. It's a waste of. It's a boondoggle.
Right.
It's an absolute boondoggle, which I heard again last night on MSNBC. Here is proving Dee Snider is right with everything he said, and Howard's lying. Just again, I've played this on here before. Here's Jackie talking about what Howard's makeover entailed.
You're a pretty big part of the front.
Because it wasn't in my
in your
era.
They timed it.
Yes.
Very. They made it look like they went to the moon, and then I stumbled in at the last minute. And Stuttering John wasn't there yet.
No.
Yeah, it was kind of.
Look at Jackie Martling just stepped in, Robin, to help us celebrate the good fortune we created.
The only way to put this quitter now is everything Howard touches dies.
Yeah.
Whether it's projects from his horrible production company or the people around him, there's no genuine friendship that's based on anything of substance. Everything Howard touches dies. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's show business Chernobyl. It's like if you step within the perimeter of the property, it's like, okay, it's going to be a time release experience of you slowly dying.
You will be cut out. And Dee knew that. Based on what he just said in that commentary, he knew that. He knows his every move. He knows his every idiosyncrasy. He knew it was coming. He knew his tone, how phony it was at the AGT set. He knew it. You're not gonna. He's too smart for that. If Howard was 20% cooler, this show might not even exist.
It's true. I say that about Elon Musk every day.
Porky's is not getting that summer release, that remake. That's right. Telly Savalas.
And they did kind of cool him up a lot earlier than he was cool. There was the little afro and the mustache through all of NBC.
When I first walked in the Stern Show, he was built like a pear. He was a big fat Jewish guy with a big afro. And I said to Fred, what kind of music does he listen to? He says, I can't get him to listen to music. I can't get him to watch sports. And all of a sudden, Dee Snider came in and said, you should wear this. You should wear this.
Right.
You like this and tell everybody you like this. And all of a sudden, there's this new person.
That was Dee, right? He kind of influenced his look, I guess.
Yeah. Because when I look at somebody,
if you want to look.
If I look around the room, I say, there's the role model I want.
The guy I need to look like.
What color
Fuck
lipstick?
Brad Pitt. I want to look like Dee Snider.
What color lipstick?
So, as if you needed more proof, Howard's lying. Dee's telling the truth, as he told Chauncey. It's just surprise, surprise. The serial liar is lying again.
Also, the reason I know that Dee is telling the truth is Dee doesn't have to look like the hero in all of the stories he tells. He's very
self-deprecating.
He's very aware of his place in show business over the years, etc. You know.
Twitter now says they wouldn't let Howard grab the actual penis from the shower drain. That's why there is no Porky's remake.
Right.
That's like, what is his motivation other than that to do that stupid movie? I didn't want to see it the
Howard.
first one.
Howard couldn't get hired as the intimacy coordinator on that movie, so it never got made. You know.
If that gets a remake, then Johnny Depp's Private Resort gets a remake or a part 2. It's the same thing. Andrew Dice Clay was in that. In fact, Howard had Ron Jeremy look at WNBC. Here is part 2 of Dee's relationship with Howard. Hold on. I hope you're enjoying this. This is a lot of people haven't heard this, and this just tells you who the real guy is.
A war between Mancow and Howard Stern. When he said, "Listen." Now this is okay. This is where we disagree. He goes, "Listen, do me a favor before we go on the air." He goes, "I know you're friends with Howard Stern." He says, "I'm a big fan too." He says these words to me. He goes, "But please don't talk about him on the air." Now this is just professional courtesy. You never talk about another person's radio show while you're on someone else's show. You just don't do that ever. This is the mid '90s now. And I hear them talking about Mancow. Gary's talking about Mancow. And I said, "Mancow, I'm always a big Howard Stern fan." And Gary goes, "What?" And I said, "I just did Mancow. He told me he's a big fan of the show." I have no idea there is a war going on between these two guys. Well, Howard starts a campaign playing clips of Mancow, trashing Howard Stern, and then finishing with it. Then why does Dee Snider say that when he was on the Mancow show, Mancow said he's a big fan of Howard Stern? Well, they got mileage out of that with this war. And as it turns out, Mancow now is denying ever saying these words to me. I'm a liar, and is trashing the shit out of me in Chicago.
Mancow is one of these guys too, like where you listen to him and inherently you just, this is just a ridiculous shtick, wrestling shtick he's doing, and I kind of don't believe anything he says either. It's like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. I didn't say anything. You're making up pies. I didn't say anything like that."
He's a proto Bubba the Love Sponge. I mean,
he sounds just like Bubba. He sounds just like Alex Jones. They have that same fucking cadence and like stupid wrestling radio voice.
It's a circus performance. I mean, wow, that's pretty. For Howard to implicate Dee, God, that's awful.
The fuck?
Own morning show in Hartford, Connecticut, but it's in a Howard Stern market. So immediately, red flag. I go, all right, I've been going up against Howard in the morning.
Yeah, Rupert's saying, giving Howard a backward comment. The only thing Howard does that's smart is he doesn't invest his own money because, first of all, he's cheap. Second of all, he is uncreatively, uncompetent.
Yeah, there's nothing to say.
Ideas, nothing to say. So you wouldn't invest money in shit ideas because you're so look at the CBS show. That's him left to his own devices. How would you invest in that, right? He knows his anything out of his brain is total crap. So how would you invest in crap? Because you're not,
Yeah,
he's been trained by Buchwald to never spend his own money on everything from his own projects to fucking bottled water in the green room for his guests.
Also, I think that the box office of Private Parts was such an embarrassment ritual for him that he never wanted to go through that again.
Yep. Not only, and he doesn't pay his own fines, by the way. It's the radio station that pays it. Right. He would have you believe he individually went into his own pocket. And again, just like millionaire and billionaires, they never pay for a sucker pays, right? That's what his dad told him. And that's what he uses to a T. A sucker pay. He never pays anything out of his own money. I wouldn't be surprised if Sirius was paying for all the help at his mansions. That he actually, in some renegotiation thing, Sirius is paying for his maids and cooks at home.
Yeah, well, I wonder if
That's
he's
the
like,
write-off.
hey, I have a home office and I write it off as a room in my house where I do work. So can that be an extension of Sirius's property, and therefore I can hire staff under the Sirius umbrella, so the money's coming from you guys and not from me, you know?
Bubba's been around as long as Mancow. Bubba was in Hartford for a while too. Dee just talked about that. The Buckwald Method Arms is quitter now. Ashley could only afford to go to 6 colleges thanks to the FCC instead of 8.
Flag. I go, all right. So I call Howard. And I say, Howard, listen, I got offered a show, but it's in Connecticut. It's doing mornings. You're on it. He goes, Dee, look, you got to do what you got to do. Those are his words. I said, listen, Howard, you are the reason why I have a radio career. You were pulling me out of, I'm going to get a 6-figure salary out of this new gig I got now. I'm coming back. Start doing my show. Howard stops talking to me.
Davyd, do you have a mentor musically? Or are you kind of self-made?
No, I had excuse me, I had a film composer that I worked for and still do some work for occasionally now that was a childhood hero, and I came to work for him on a couple projects. So yeah, I do.
Is his name Peter Bernstein?
I wish I got that lucky. Yeah.
So let's say, what's his name? Assuming it's a he.
His name is Dave.
Dave what?
David Newman.
Okay, David. Imagine anything you did, from a Johnny Meyer forwarded email to that, you had to run it by David Newman all the time. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
He made you feel so guilty, and he was such a petty, bitter, egomaniac, hyper type A, that you had to run every 2-bit gig you ever got. You had to run playing for Josh Brolin's wedding by this guy. Everything. Right. This is what Dee Snider's doing right now.
I'm surprised. I mean, truthfully, it's like, that's why I didn't. There was never going to be any full-time work for him, for me, which I was happy about, because I was like, I don't want to be beholden to just one boss as a musician. If I worked for like a company and I was like a 9-to-5 company person, then that's a different story. But as a freelance musician, I can't be beholden to one person, because there's just going to be so many conflict of interesty moments that come up. Yep. And especially if the person is insanely controlling, that complicates it even more. But I don't know why Dee is acting like he has this kind of relationship with Howard. Like, Dee's his own person. He's always been his own person. I don't know.
I guess he just knows him. So he's maybe, just from his own cover your own ass moment, he's worried that Howard's going to smear him on the air, ripping off, that he's just going to start shitting on his show every day. And that will either ruin the show, or it will give Dee an embarrassing, private, just walking around general public life, in terms of fans, Howard's fans giving him shit everywhere they see him because they don't understand the relationship. He just knows he's trying to do damage control and get in front of it before, and he would do that. He certainly would do that.
Yeah.
Howard's buddy Chip Zenough of 8 is enough is to do the CBS show theme for free. Oh, Chip, you'll get tons of exposure. It's worth. I know, that's what he always. I know. That's his way of getting people to work for free. Oh, the exposure is crazy. And Gary's plugs when people go, I'm doing you guys. I flew in here. I have nothing to gain. I'm not getting a stipend for this. Oh, no, you're going to get plugs. And believe me, the plugs for the show are worth a lot.
Yeah,
He didn't do nothing. Dee never got the Kimmel treatment in Mexico or Italy. That's right.
I don't know why he stops talking to me.
I call him Davyd Newman from now on, by the way.
Yeah, honestly, I know there's so many.
I'm on my radio show in his market. I'm saying, listen, I say this straight out first day. I'm a Howard Stern fan. Everything I know about doing morning radio, I learned from Howard Stern.
Holden wants to know, hey, didn't David Newman do the music for the Superman Broadway play?
No, there's a screenwriter named David Newman who did the scripts for Bonnie and Clyde and Superman 78. It's a different guy. I
Now,
think
Walt Frazier got the Clyde nickname from Bonnie and Clyde, right? Because he wore the same hat as Warren Beatty.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's crazy. I didn't know.
Now I'll tell you my favorite Rod Strickland story after that.
Yeah.
If I was living in this market, I wouldn't listen to me. I'd listen to Howard Stern. This is what I literally say. And I say, I'm just trying to...
You have to show that much obsequious contrition. This is how much of an ego man. Like, Dee knows exactly the road he's going down, how he used to fucking kiss his with all this suck up shit.
He probably saw Howard at his worst and probably saw him also.
Yeah, he knows him better than anybody does. He knows his psychology backward and forward. Make no mistake about it.
But it's sad to me that Dee feels like he needs to play into it just for a radio, like that he needs to go down that road.
Because he's worried he's gonna get fucking smeared on the air to Howard's ridiculous listener base. He doesn't want to take shit from his fans. I'm telling you, they were rabidly like a cult, believing everything he said.
Right.
Probably me included back then.
Carve out my own audience. 20 share is a huge number. They're trying to find my own mark. I'm not trying to do I'm not copying any of Howard's.
Yeah, Rupert's right. Most rock stars, you're lucky if you have a window of fame of 6 to 8 years, and then you fade away for years until they're old enough for some kind of revival, nostalgic thing. That's right. The Foreclosure Tour. And Howard learned morning radio from Steve. That's what you got to do to really get into Howard's goat is you bring up Steve Dahl and Charles Laquidere and stuff.
Right.
That gets him. He has no comeback for that.
Bits, but certainly the inspiration of the morning show format, I learned it from him. And Howard and I, we don't talk every single day anymore, and we don't talk all the time, but I call Howard from time to time, and after like a third or fourth call, I realized Howard is not responding. So I call and I'm leaving a message, and I go like, hey man, this is like my fourth call to you, and you haven't called me back. I'm starting to think something's wrong. Are you not returning? And the phone picks up, and Howard, back in those days, it was that kind of voicemail. We're old. He picks up and he goes, I've been mad at you. I'm going, you're mad at me? He goes, yeah. I said, why are you mad at me? He goes, you went on the Mancow show. Now, Howard had told me he never minded. He says, look, years ago, he says, I don't care whose radio show you do. That's the way you promote your stuff. You're an entertainer. I will never stop you from being on anybody else's show. Just don't not do mine. And that's a reasonable, fair thing to do. Well, guess what? Now Howard's starting to change. And Mancow is a thorn in his side and an annoyance to him. And the fact that now one of his best friends is on the Mancow show, which I had to do. So I said, Howard, it was the only way I could get on, to get.
You know who's the best at calling Howard out on all this behavior when he was on as a guest? Guy who Howard's clearly afraid of is Pat Cooper. Pat Cooper does not play with don't tell me not to do this show. There's some great radio with Pat Cooper in there going. I mean, especially when Pat went on Opie and Anthony's show, he says, fuck you, I'm doing their show. They invited me. They're nice guys. I don't give a shit. You're not telling me what shows to go on. Pat Cooper does not take shit from him in that way. That is the best guy to push back on that. If you get to hear, he does some great, and it's great, worth playing on this show at some point. Pat Cooper's Opie and Anthony interviews are he unloads on him, and they were so scared of Pat. Like the Opie and Anthony were scared they were going to get pulled off the air. That Pat was so strong,
right?
So that loose cannon honesty that they thought they were going to get pulled off the air because they have the same boss, Howard.
Interesting.
I lost my show. And he's like, oh, I didn't realize that. You should have told me. I said, well, I didn't know you were mad at me because you didn't tell me. This is classic Stern. He won't say it to you. He won't confront you. He'll just, he just stops talking to you. And so, tree in the forest. How the hell do you know? How am I supposed to know you're mad at me if you don't tell me? I just thought you just, were busy.
Okay, that's it on that. And that's the real Howard, and that's what Dee experienced from him.
Yeah, and it's the Stuttering John doing I'm the celebrity, or no, even leaving for Jay Leno. It's just like Don't talk to me about it because you should just
John
know.
Called him. It was even worse. John called him. Leno called him, and he refused to. He knew exactly what they were going to say and what they were going to do. He was like, I'm telling you, I'm asking you permission. I'm going. Make me a better offer or I'm going. And and then he lies on the air and says, John didn't tell. It was ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And he got away with that for years, that lie.
I know.
Say what you will about John and the whole fucking dabbler tedious bullshit. But he's absolutely 100% right in that situation.
Yes.
Sarah's gifting 5 memberships, everyone. Jump on that shit. While I'm at it, the next thing, probably going to end with this. This is a weird thing I found, and it is Howard's friend. That is 10 memberships she's gifting Sarah. Howard in the fucking bro party boy mode with his friend Pat Manocchia and Marco Battaglia and Richie Notar and Ralph and fucking Zoss Rapin. So Pat Manocchia is talking shit about Artie. Artie's an Italian. He's an embarrassment to Italian. Artie and Gary are embarrassments. They are slovenly Italians. They don't represent Italian. I found this looking for the Kobe Bryant stuff. I'm like, what the hell is this? So Artie and Gary and Pat Manocchia, who dated Julia Roberts, by the way,
yes, right.
And it's Howard's trainer, calls in and tells them how they're supposed to be Italian. What is the right way to pronounce things? It's a bizarre conversation, which I'd never heard originally. So let me just hear. So Sarah's gifting 5 Deafening memberships. Opie and Anthony have a 10-hour YouTube compilation. Yeah, I know. I've listened to most of all of it. Again, they're largely, part of like that was my motivation to listen to them was their Howard bash. And that was either they had to have a comedian sitting in like a Patrice O'Neill or something, or I would listen to them bash Howard, and they were the first ones to call him out on a lot of this behind the scenes shit. It was. I have a great compilation I want to do as a full show one time, and then them getting this guy John Manelli fired. Howard getting John Manelli fired from the Post, and Manelli calls Opie and Anthony. He says, "Yeah, Howard got me fired." He tells him straight up on the air, and then Howard denies it the next day, and it's just sort of back and forth. It's really good.
I remember on one of Cabby's few serious appearances, he mentions John Manelli for some reason. They were somehow involved.
Yep, he was a host and a radio writer for like the Daily News, I think, where he would write columns on the state of talk radio, and he would criticize Howard in ways that nobody else was, and he couldn't take it. Of course.
Is Sarah trying to get your attention for something?
I don't know. I don't know what she wants. I don't know. Aquaman. I think she's just trying to drop in buzzwords of things I like or something.
Yeah, shiny object.
Oh, she wants me to maybe promote the movie show.
Maybe
we're doing.
I don't know who done this.
I'm not sure what she's trying to indicate with that. This is. She's intimidating, whatever it is. The Marcy Turk of Lotus Notes. Here is Pat Manocchia, and who Howard set this up to tell Artie and Gary how to be Italian.
Okay. Hey, whatever happened to
running in with Howard in Central Park and the paparazzi?
So dorky.
How homoerotic is running with who needs to get taught how to run? I have great advice as someone who's run a 240-something marathon. Run as fast as you can, as far as you can, as often as you can. You don't need a trainer. If you are a pussy. You are brain dead. Run as fast as you can, as far as you can, as often as you can. That's it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to it. Is Dennis I don't think so, Holden. I don't think she's talking about you with that.
Patty never called in?
Maybe he found out that Artie was right.
Yeah.
How homoerotic is that vision of those two running together? You might as well just run right to fucking Chelsea after the 2 bandanas on their head.
Yeah, I I understand, like, all right, you're unfamiliar with like weight training exercises and you want to have a trainer for that to spot you and kind of make sure your form is good and everything. But a trainer for running, I don't understand that.
Everybody's got their own form. You can't teach them to have running form. You can teach how to throw, but running, it's just going to reflexively, eventually it's going to be rote and you're not going to think about.
You're going to run how you're going to run, I think.
Well, you're going to run because this is a guy who never had any physical activity his whole fucking life until he decides to do this.
Right.
So you don't have running because you've never ran before this. At 40-something, you're going to decide, I'm going to get in shape at 40-something.
I also love
You've never done anything.
Howard's clearly wearing a t-shirt where he just inverted the sleeves into the body of the shirt.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a cutoff.
Nothing
like
he can wear to look cool.
Right.
What happened, Gary? Did we ever find out? You never called in?
I called the gym twice. I said he'd be in 5 minutes, and he called right away as soon as he got in, and he hasn't.
Pat Manocchia to me is a classic New York bone himbo. You know, just like a serious. No, you probably never married.
I called at 7:05. He's there, and then I called again.
Still like a swinging single at 68 years old. You're like,
totally,
right.
Yeah, right.
And at 7:40.
Oh, all right. So it's okay. We'll do it another time. I just wanted to clear up Artie's mispronunciation.
But just let me clarify something. Pat told you that me and Gary sound ridiculous when we say mozzarella.
Right.
So I guarantee when he's with other Italian people at dinner, he says mozzarella.
Oh, Pat's.
This is when Howard's in Howie Brasco mode, by the way, at this point. So he's trying to like do this like testosterone blackface where he's watching Godfather on the weekend with his bros, and he claims Beth's making him turkey meatballs like an anorexic would eat.
On the phone?
I guarantee it.
Let me.
He heard you and then he said, I gotta call him.
I've heard Pat say this like a million times, that you're like a low-class guinea. Not
Yeah, a low class. If while I have a chance, if able, please hit like and subscribe right effing now. Please donate via Cash App, upper left, Venmo, upper right. Buy me a coffee in the center. Super chats, super stickers, memberships are available. You can also join us over at Patreon at patreon.com/winoforever. Thank you. I love you all. Please hit like and subscribe right effing now.
He didn't call you a low-class guinea, but more or less.
Then I'll tell you what. Then Danny DeVito is.
Oh, well, hold on.
Oh, those are fighting words, Davyd. Danny DeVito. A man who has seen the inside of Casa DeVito.
Yes.
Pasquale.
Demon.
See? Guy's name's Pasquale, so he knows.
Igloo is called.
That doesn't sound low-class guinea.
What's up?
Let me ask you something.
Pronouncing that right.
Is the word beats again or Spiadel?
What about him?
All right. In other words, Artie's saying him wrong, right? Like, it's not mozzarella.
No.
What is the word? Well, how do you say it?
Well, you know, you mean in real Italian?
Yeah.
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
No, but okay.
So when a guy goes mozzarella, well, what else was the other words we were talking about? Like
mozzarella,
Gary comes in and goes prosciutto. It's not prosciutto, right?
Yeah, no. That's a little on the American side.
It's prosciutto.
Prosciutto, yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, you know, we're not used to doing that kind of pronunciation. I mean, there's a lot of.
But wait a second, Pat. Are your parents from Italy?
My grandparents.
Yeah, see, my grandparents were from Italy too. That's how it just sort of came down.
No, but it's not prosciutto.
It's also, you know, just good to hear these names you hear in Howard's life all the time. You rarely hear this guy on the air. You hear him brought up a lot.
I don't know if I've ever
He's
heard
Howard's
his voice.
trainer.
Right.
He was like a college. The highest level of. I think he was a college hockey player, but it was like, I don't know if it was a Ivy League school or somewhere up in New England. But he's not in the NHL. He played like college hockey. So what?
Jude. You guys are almost saying prosciutto.
No, Gary.
Every guinea, I know, in the tri-state area says mozzarella, and they all say that shit. He's trying to like look like they're low class guineas beneath him. I mean, that's the elitist thing.
Did your grandparents ever speak Italian in the house?
Yes.
See, ours didn't. Yeah, because they wanted us to learn English. So, you know, it's pretty common. Where we grew up in Rhode Island, Providence, and, you know, those guys up there, they don't want you to talk Italian. They want you to assimilate into the culture. So
Yeah, Brown University. He went to an Ivy League, Brown University. Thank you, Housey. I knew it was something like that. That's his highest level of. I played college hockey. They don't give scholarships out in Ivy League too, by the way.
Right. So I'm sorry. This bit is so stupid, but I'm gonna analyze it a little bit. So if Pat's grandparents didn't speak Italian, I'm gonna tend to believe Gary more if his grandparents.
Yeah, right.
It's
Italian. Not a good right. Gary's parents are more innately Italian, right? Pronunciation, or did he mean pronunciation? Says fucking Wolston. Good to see you, Wolstenholme. One of my favorite names, N.D. Wolstenholme.
You know the.
It's prosciutto.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you go to Italy and you sound like an idiot if you talk. You know, if you speak.
If you go to Italy and go mozzarella,
and people look at you like you're talking about an animal.
Right? They don't know what you're talking about. That's what I'm trying to tell these guys.
I'm not Italian. I'm from America.
What Sviadel?
Sfogliarelle.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, Sfogliarelle.
Sviadel.
All right, how do you pronounce Manicotti?
Manicotti,
not Manicotti.
Yeah, a C is not a G.
It's not Manicotti either. It's Manigot.
No.
What's
Manigot? What? No.
Spelled obviously Manicotti, Manicotti. Well, just say that. Just say it.
Good Lord.
I mean, you do sound, when you're trying too hard to sound Italian, that's always corny. When you're overdoing it with just pronounce it Manicotti. Say mozzarella. Just don't even phonetically say it the way it's written.
Yeah, it's like the people who like slip into an accent for one word and then slip back into an American accent.
Yeah, stop. Yeah, stop. You're alienating both sides. It's like the Wigger. Black people hate you and white people hate you.
I had a friend who pronounced, and they're not wrong. It's just funny in context. They would pronounce the country Cuba,
Yes.
And so it's like, oh, we're going on vacation to Florida and we'll probably go to the Keys and then we're going to Cuba. It's just was so like out of nowhere. Like
you see them on like political shows where they overdo like Spanish pronunciations, and it's just so forced. As Sarah would say, try hard. And it just sounds, just stop. No one's impressed. Academic scholarships only in the Ivy League, and I did not qualify. Chris Dudley did. Rupert Pumpkin. My parents only spoke Italian. They went to, they spoke Italian till they went to school. Yeah, is Gabagool. What is this now? Cappuccini. Artie always tries too hard with the Italian stuff. No, and that's also this like mob movie obsession too at the same time. So that gets forced and corny as well. Double dimes and double dimes. And he loves like, C notes and G's and all that fucking mafia lingo. Pasta fazool. Right. That's beans and pie. I haven't had that in a long time. I had that when I was a kid, and pasta fazool was beans and pasta with light
beans?
marinara sauce. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Gary always goes Manigot. That's what do you want? It's not Manigot.
P's become B's and C's become G's.
No. It's like you ever hear old Jews saying stuff? It's like these guys think they're old Italian men. It's not Manigot. It's Manicotti.
But how would you know different if it's what you've been taught? Like all my aunts.
I'm just telling you, what you were taught is wrong.
Okay, that's fine. Like all my aunts, Robin's right. All my aunts want to order a pizza. They say a pizza with a B. That's
pizza.
How they talk.
It's pizza.
No, I know that. That's how they say it.
So I'm a low-class
I gotta hear Pat say the cheese with they are.
Which cheese?
Oh, the one that Gary calls ragout.
Ragout.
Oh yeah, he calls a $20 bill a sawbuck. He just loves to use. You know what I mean? Like it's like he just is. It just his whole language becomes mafioso movies and whatever that North Jersey thing is, and it just tries to just any chance you get to say something like C note or so, especially gambling along with it too. So you throw in the gambling lingo with, what's his name? What the guy Goodfellas, Henry Hill. Henry Hill is Artie's like hero in a way. Like Artie kind of wishes he had the life of Henry Hill. Ray Liotta's from his same town, by the way.
Artie wants to be a David Chase creation, you know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Olive Garden, pasta fagioli.
Ricotta.
Ricotta. No, that's what ricotta. R-I-C-O-T-T-A is ragout. No, it's ricotta. It's ricotta cheese.
No, it's not ricotta either.
It's not ragout.
Well, both of us are wrong.
But you're talking like your grandpa off the boat.
It's what you learn.
It's not like the slang is considered low class.
Listen, I got cousins who still say that you're Burl.
I'm just telling you, just because your cousins are saying, I'm just telling you that you're saying something that isn't correct.
Hey, did you ever see that episode of The Sopranos where those guys go to Italy and they're actually asking for stuff in the restaurant and the guys are laughing at them?
Right. Because they don't even know what they're talking about.
I don't care who's laughing at me in Italy.
No,
My family's from North.
I'm just saying to you, you're saying it wrong. So instead of fighting it and saying, well, that's the way I was taught, you say, oh, I'll learn how to say it the proper way.
Really?
Yeah, is it Gavone Holden or Cabone? It means Italian hick. I also know Stu Nod from Donnie Brasco. Somebody said, you Stu Nod. And he was saying that to Sonny Black, and I found out that means idiot. S-T-U-N-A-D. Stu Nod means idiot.
Also, can we criticize Howard for pronouncing it Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, and that's by design. It's deliberate. It's deliberate it's like reductive pronunciation, over enunciating it or deliberately mispronouncing it.
Right.
So you're reductive. I don't have time to learn how to properly pronounce this name.
Yeah, Howard also pronounces it Chef Boyardee. I can't even do it. It's as opposed to Chef Boyardee, you know.
I'm going to give you an example. When I was a kid growing up, I always said the word jewelry for jewelry. And my mother would correct me. She'd say, it's not jewelry, it's jewelry.
Right, people say nuclear.
Yeah, like the president says nuclear.
Right.
Did he keep saying it, or should he learn to do it right?
So learn how to say it right.
No,
because you grew up.
If we were on camera, you would see me right now. I'm just to give you a little set the scene. I'm caressing and I'm molesting a Kansas City Royals hat with a double. It is a two-tone, as they say, with a silver gray rim and blue background, which I think is better than the ones they wear every day. That's what I'm doing right now with my hair.
Okay.
I grew up and everyone told me my name was pronounced Artie. If you told me now, no, it's Artie or something, I'm not going to change. It's always been mozzarella. I'm going to ask for mozzarella and tomatoes at a restaurant.
It's just, you know what I got out of this conversation? I would rather
I'm just telling you. I don't care. I'm just telling you.
Howard, tell me what you think.
No, I'm telling you what's right. You want to learn the proper pronunciation, or you want to go around sounding like a dumbass?
I would rather have Tony Soprano's respect than some guinea in Italy.
God, you're missing the point.
No, I understand that it's pronounced.
I'm just telling you,
wrong,
you guys don't even know you're pronouncing it.
No, I know. Rather, because they're all of their friends, and in their circle, it's mozzarella. They're not going to now say mozzarella.
I don't want to. Look, Dom, you're on the air with us. Go ahead.
Howard, I'm first generation Italian. My parents are right off the boat, okay? You're 100% right.
Everyone, this is Restless Vinny Favale, which I haven't heard him in a long time. I just started following him on Instagram. I put him in a thing the other day when I was talking about a friend of mine came out with an album, Mike Ravatsas. Vinny have him on. He's a big Howard fan, by the way.
Oh, that's fun. Vinny comes on and says, look, it's pronounced workplace sexual harassment, not harassment.
And I said, Mike, I don't know, is this song, I was kind of breaking his balls. I said, is this song about the chapters of your life? Because, I mean, you don't have to be, who's the Elton John's songwriter?
Bernie Taupin.
Bernie Taupin. I go, you don't have to be Bernie Taupin or Vinny Favale to know when I wrote Vinny's name on Instagram and buzzed him into the conversation. And Mike actually met Vinny. Mike worked at CBS, and he had a meeting with Vinny Favale once about something.
I'll be honest with you. I want to try to reach out to Vinny at some point and see if he still has Mark Harris's complete discography, because
he's the only one that does. It's a great
the only one
query.
That would have it.
No pun intended.
Yeah, excellent query.
Hold on a second. Oh shit! Give me one. Shit! Come on. Oh. Let me play this more.
You guys are dropping the beauty of the Italian language. You're missing the last vowel. It's mozzarella. You gotta say the ella, not mozzarella. It's managotta.
Managot.
Vinny, go figure.
When Gary says these words, makes me mental.
It's Italian. It's horrible.
David Letterman told him to say that. And there's never an instance where he disagrees with Letterman or Howard about anything.
He's a company man.
Yeah, he is a company man. That's right.
Really, work on it.
Well, see, I agree with you because when we try and say it like, if we say mozzarella, they'll correct us.
I'll tell you the truth. I don't know what to say anymore. Because people drive me nuts. I'm just saying, if you know how to say it right, why not say it right?
There's different dialects from Italy, and everybody pronounces words differently.
What is it?
Where is there a dialect in Italy where they drop the last vowel?
There isn't.
No. Artie's wrong on that. The dialect is Italian via Bensonhurst or Newark.
Right.
Right, and that's where we're from.
But you should at least.
Or Uniondale, just to give you a little context of Long Island. So Gary's from a town called Uniondale, which is where the Nassau Coliseum is. It's probably less than 40 minutes to get to Manhattan from where it is. It's actually the halfway point between me, where I grew up in Sayville, and Manhattan. It's like, it would be going to Manhattan. The halfway point would be where Gary grew up in Uniondale. And it's very Italian. I mean, Long Island, now I heard it's the most Italian area in the whole country. Long Island, not New York City. Long Island is. Like, everybody moved to Long Island. So all the great pizza shops are on Long Island.
Interesting.
Know what you're doing. Rich, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Buzz? Let me tell you, who is this Pat guy? Manocchia? What the hell is he? He's from the Karate Kid? Let me tell you, Artie.
It's a stupid comparison, but it's funny as hell because it's so stupid. He's comparing Pat Manocchia with Ralph Macchio's last name, and it's interesting because Macchio goes on to be in Beer League.
Yeah.
That's so funny. He's comparing Manocchia like Macchio. Like he thinks it's the same.
He's 100% right. Gary's 100% right. My paisans, they know what they're talking about.
Thank you.
It's mozzarella. Where do you idiots come from? And you're a Jew on top of it. What the hell do you know?
This guy's a brain surgeon.
DJ God.
You know what?
What do you know? It's mozzarella.
Pat, tell this guy you're going to kick his ass when you see him.
Ask him where the U is in the word.
How about this? Do you know?
Karate Kid. Mozzarella.
Karate Kid. What was the name of the Karate Kid?
Pat Morita.
Pat Manocchia.
No.
I think what the guy did is he combined Pat Morita with Ralph Macchio.
Yes.
So Manocchia's name sounds like if you put Macchio and Morita together.
That's true. Wow, God.
I'm trying to just get in the mind of a Stern listener.
How are you, a Jap?
Oh, please.
What kind of Italian are you half-breed?
Oh, please.
You're the big Italian guy, huh?
Come down here and say that. I'll kick your ass.
You faggot. And
Faggot? Come down here and call me a faggot. You son of a bitch bastard mother. All right.
He did pronounce that properly. How about
Why is black bastard worse than the N-word? Why does it feel? Why is it the alliteration of it? Is it that it comes from the heart when someone says it? Like it feels.
It's alliteration. It's two words as opposed to one. It's yeah. I don't know.
When someone says black bastard, it feels worse than the N-word.
I guess so.
Do you know how to spell the word Goomba?
How about love me, daddy? How about that?
That's right. There's a guy who needs someone.
Is it ugats means zero or stugats means your balls? When someone says ugats, it means like nothing or something like that.
I'm thinking of something else. Stugats. I guess so. Hang on.
What do I get? Ugats. It means like nothing, zero.
I'm gonna pay attention to him. Yeah. No, the point is that I'm just telling you, you're not pronouncing the word properly. And go ahead.
I know you'd be embarrassed to go home and say it right.
I'm just saying there's a lot of the low-class guinea thing I take offense to just because there's a lot of classy people who say mozzarella and manigot. And,
Who? Name one.
All right, Danny DeVito. I've heard him say it in interviews. Absolutely.
Oh my.
He's a midget.
God,
he was doing fun.
As long as I'm concerned, if they know what you're talking about in a restaurant, you get what you want to eat, then who cares? You know?
Well, yeah. Prosciutto and prosciutto cost the same at a restaurant.
All right. Well, Pat, I know you're busy, and
yeah, I'm sure he is.
Yeah, exactly.
With his one client, he's going to throw the medicine ball around with a 6'8", 145-pound man in about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
at
right.
The Reebok
exactly.
Sports Club.
Yeah, at a towering 5'1", Stugazza is an Americanized slang term derived from Southern Italian dialect phrase stucazzo, meaning this dick. Made famous by shows like Sopranos, is an all-purpose dismissive slang word used to call something bullshit.
That'd be a good name of a podcast or a band or, just a tag name online.
Yeah.
Surprised that you don't see that more often. Sarah's still got these gifts, deepening gift memberships, everyone, for a fan show most Wednesdays in some ways. And sometimes we'll post like what we did in a podcast on Patreon. Tony Soprano's boat name. Really quick. This is one of my hat trees. Okay, this is what I was just fondling. Tell me if you see this.
Yeah. Yes, I see
coming
it.
up on. Okay. There's that's just one of my hat trees. Not a bad pull, right? I mean,
look at that.
Look at some of these obscure avant-garde Major League Baseball hats from left to right. Denver Nuggets sideline hat, 2 of them. A classic California, Anaheim, LA Angels hats. LA Angels, Oakland A's alternative hat, Cincinnati Reds World Series hat, Tampa Bay Devil Rays hat, that green one to the left, Seattle Supersonics hat, Texas Rangers spring training hat. This should be the regular hat. Colorado Rocky hat, classic, old school, Greg Luzinski, Harold Baines, Chicago White Sox hat, another Devil Ray hat, Cecil Cooper, Milwaukee. And that KC hat was the hat I was fondling. That you caught me fondling.
Caught you in the act.
Yes. Which is your favorite hat, Davyd?
I like the Seattle hat, the green and yellow Seattle hat.
Okay, you like the defunct Seattle Supersonics. Hopefully they bring that exact uniform back.
I like the logo.
They have not been in the NBA since 2008. They've been in purgatory. 18 years, and they're supposedly coming back. I have that Pittsburgh Pirate hat. Tatatoothy. Is it in there? No, it's not in the I'm gonna have to get you another one. Another picture of another hat rack. Because I have that very hat. I'm very proud of it. And by the way, those hats are covering other hats too, which didn't get in frame.
Oh,
there's a Mariners hat that didn't get in frame, and there's a bunch of Diamondbacks hats that somehow didn't make it in the frame. It's like underneath the White Sox hat. You could see it. I don't know if it shows up if I zoom in. No, it doesn't show up if I zoom in. Oh, it's just one of many. You'll get another one next time.
Love it.
You see the 21 Jump Street poster in the top left?
Yes.
On the wall. It says let me read it, because he's young. He's young enough to be as bad as the rest, and old enough to be a cop. Some kids pack a line. I swear to God. I think Sarah got me that for Christmas at a certain point, like 5 years ago or something.
That log line needs work.
Captain America underneath it, 12-inch Captain America. Who am I, Jack Sigma over here? Oh, God, quitter. I'm jealous. He just got an old school Gary Payton jersey. Oh, no. Seahawks jersey. Talk about Sonics, not Gary Payton, not Seahawks. Who am I, Dave Steeb over here? Who am I, Larry Boa over here? I have that Phillies hat too, Tatatoothy. I'm very proud of that. All my Philly faithful in this chat will love it. Anyway, one last time. Oh God, Howsy, I have 10 Blue Jays hats, and that classic one I have, I'm looking at it right now. I have 3 of those, and I have every variation of Blue Jay hats. I'm gonna have to do a show and tell next time with these hats. You will love. I have the Expos hat. I'm looking at that right now. I'm looking at this top shelf one. There's an old school Mets hat with the World Series insignia on it. Another Brewers hat. A Mariners hat from 1982. Another Devil Rays, a Padres hat. 10 Trailblazer hats. Oh, I'm so proud of this collection. I'm probably my most proud. I mean, outside of the 21 Arm Street Swallowed Alive episode, maybe my hat collection is what I'm most prideful about. The old Padres hat, the Baltimore Orioles for our friend Fred Durp. I'm 30 minutes from Toronto, and I have lots of Jays hats, too. Yes, sorry, Sonics. All right, everyone. One last time, please hit like and subscribe. We are doing, Davyd, Sarah and I are doing our top 5 movies this weekend. Stay tuned for that, for some just black and white surprises for Davyd.
Yes.
You'll like, they're very eclectic. There are no repeats. If able, please donate via Cash App, upper left, Venmo, upper right, or the Buy Me a Coffee in the center address. Also, super chats, super stickers, and memberships are available. You can also join us over at Patreon at patreon.com. Also, check out my NBA shorts, and I'm going to do some Lotus Notes shorties as well, which will be like a half hour from past shows if you have any requests. Thank you so much. I love you all. We love you, Johnny Meyer. We love you, Holden Housey. Thank you. Thank you. So Drink Savant says he loves the Rangers hat the best. And I have 3 more variations of that hat, Drink Savant, which you will also love. Davyd screened The Great Train Robbery.
From 1912.
This is Davyd, do you have anything you want to plug on the way out?
No, check out the if you do sign up for Patreon, we did our 10 through 6 movie from our top 10 list. That show is up and it's great. Had a lot of fun doing it, and
it goes very fast. It's hard to believe that was 4 hours. It flies by. It's so fast. All right, everyone. I love you all. This is Arm for Davyd and Dr. Sarah saying,
Sarah, Sarah, no time is a good time for goodbye.
Terrific night. Great night of bowling, by the way.
Yeah, we went out to a bowling alley.
Yeah.
And bowled. We had a fun time.
Bowling can be fun.
Deteriorating every morning at 6 o'clock.
I couldn't care.
Regardless of the idiots that listen to this program.
I couldn't care who thinks I should shut up.
It's just another reflection of what America's like these days in the men's club that everybody joins into, and the reason that these hearings are such a joke.
Yeah.
And you jumping on the bandwagon makes me wonder why.